Miami at 3-2, coming off the loss at the hands of the Baltimore Colts last week. The Dolphins won the toss, and they will receive. This is Mike Hubach teeing it up. Don Besselo is in the middle amongst the three deep. There he is, number 46, and we're set. The Dolphins 3 up and 2 down. Well, we were set. The wind just blew the football off the kicking tee, so Hubach will have to reset it. And the Patriots at 4-1, coming off the win over the Jets at Shea in New York last week. All right. Patriots have beaten Denver, Seattle, and Cleveland. They lost to Atlanta here in Foxborough, 37-21. Next Sunday, New England will be at Baltimore. In 2 weeks, they play at Buffalo. So a tough stretch for the Patriots, who are off to the best start in 6 years. Besselo out to the 10. Besselo stumbles across the 20-yard line. Hit down by combination of Larry McGrew and John Zamberlin. And there's the Miami backfield. As we mentioned earlier, Don Strock starting at quarterback. Delvin Williams, Steve Howell are the running backs. The receivers, Jimmy Cephalo replacing the injured Duriel Harris out with a shoulder ailment. Bruce Hardy, the tight end. Matt Moore, number 89, the other wide receiver. It is 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Count by Strock, and the fullback Howell, the ball carrier. 3-yard pickup, the nose tackle, Sugar Bear Ray Hamilton, number 71, in on the stop. And a look at that Miami offensive line. They've had all kinds of shuffling in there. Kuchenberg, Dillon, Dennard, Little, and Loxo. A 2nd and 6 as the Dolphins line up in the I. Steve Howell averaging 3.5 per carry, the same for Delvin Williams. And that's Howell again, and he has picked up the first down. John Zamberlin, right side linebacker, making the stop up front. New England with Lunsford, Hamilton, and Adams. Adams coming off a 2-sack performance against the New York Jets. The linebackers, Steve Nelson having a tremendous season, Zamberlin, Schultz, and Hawkins. And in that secondary, Claiborne and Haynes at the corners, and the deep men are James and Fox. First down for Miami at their 36-yard line. And this is Delvin Williams. Fumbling on the play. Loose football. And the Dolphins get a break as that ball bounded out of bounds.
They certainly were fortunate on that time, Marv, that the ball went out of bounds, or that could have really been a costly mistake. See, Delvin Williams here is trying to get the handle. He's got the handle on the ball. He's just looking to go upfield, and all of a sudden just pops loose. Fortunately, he got a swipe at it there, and it knocked it out of bounds, or it would have really been a costly mistake for the Miami Dolphins.
Steve Nelson actually tripped over Delvin Williams, so he could not come up with the football, and because it went out of bounds, ruled a dead ball, and it's back in the possession of Miami, but they now are 2nd and 19, so a passing situation for the Dolphins back at their 27-yard line. Strock looking to cost the Dolphins, the Patriots up with Tony Nathan, Steve Nelson, and Roland James combining. On number 22, Tony Nathan, the rookie out of Alabama, who had a tough one last week against the Baltimore Colts. Had a bad day against Baltimore. He dropped 2 passes. Right near the goal line, he fumbled in the 4th quarter, leading to a Baltimore touchdown. It is a 3rd and 8 now at the 38. Extra defensive back employed by Ron Earhart and the New England Patriots. Nathan, the lone deep back. Here's Strock, 3rd and 8. Goes sideline, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Claiborne. And the Patriots take over inside the 20-yard line. Ray Claiborne, his 2nd interception of the season. Good block. On the return, Joe Rose making the stop It's a 29-yard return for Claiborne.
Well, that certainly was a bad selection by Don Strock there. Raymond Claiborne knows what to do with the ball when he gets it. He's got excellent speed here and hangs on. I'll tell you, this is going to be a turning point awful early. The Miami Dolphins have had an awful lot of problems, and they're trying to overcome them. And this, again, compounds the problems that they've had. But it was a poor selection as he threw into double coverage on an out pattern.
Third time Strock has been intercepted this season. And now it's a 1st and 10 for New England at the Miami 17-yard line. Don Calhoun gets the call. Steve Grogan, although bothered by sore knees, in the starting lineup along with Vegas Ferguson and Don Calhoun. Great receiving corps for the Patriots. Stanley Morgan, the veteran Harold Jackson, the tight end Russ Francis. And that offensive line, Wheeler, Hanna, Lenkaitis, Adams, and Jordan. 2nd and 9. Calhoun picked up a yard on the play. We could see Grogan go from the shotgun as this game progresses to protect the knees. Vegas Ferguson on the slant for short yardage. Doug Betters, the right defensive end, number 75, 3-year pro out of Nevada, Reno, making the stop as you look at the 3-4 defensive alignment of the Miami Dolphins. Dan Herter, Baumhauer, and Betters up front. The linebackers, Bo Camper, Chambers, Dewey, and Gordon. But Don Shula likes to do a lot of rotation. And a secondary that has been very vulnerable. Burt Jones picking them apart last week. And now Andy Johnson and Chuck Foreman have come on in this passing situation on a 3rd and 6. Ed Taylor in as the nickel back for Miami, and Grogan to put it up. Francis had it batted away and was able to hang on as he was hit by the free safety Don Vesselo.
Oh, I'll tell you, everyone tries to mold their tight end after Russ Francis because he is the perfect tight end, so to speak. And Grogan sees him here on an out pattern. Actually, he made an excellent play to come back for the ball. But a big turning point again for the Miami Dolphins as it's going to instill their defense to come up. They've come up on a break, and they've stopped the New England Patriots. So it's really going to add to their defensive, their oomph, I guess you'd say.
That would capture it as John Smith comes on looking for a 30-yard field goal. Kavanaugh will hold. Smith 8 for 8 on field goals of 40 yards or less. 8 for 9 overall, and this one is right through. So John Smith takes over the AFC leadership in scoring as the New England Patriots, off the interception by Claiborne, put the points up on the board. Early first quarter, they are in front of Miami by the score of 3-0. 4.5 minutes in, first quarter, John Smith with a 30-yard field goal, and the Patriots lead it 3-0. The kickoff by Hubach. Again, Vesselo, the deep man. Fumbles at the goal line. Out to the 10. Trying to cut back at the 15, but nowhere to go as he is stacked up on the play. So good coverage by the Patriots, led by linebacker Steve King. And Miami will put it in play at the 15-yard line.
Gino Cavalletti, who coaches the special teams there in New England, is very proud of his unit. You can see by the coverage, anytime you capture the opposing runner inside the 20-yard line, it's a real feather in your cap, and I'm sure Gino was pleased with that.
1st and 10 for the Miami Dolphins. Don Strock, the quarterback. Steve Howell, Delvin Williams are the running backs. That's Howell. Steve Howell, Lunsford, the left defensive end, and the right side linebacker John Zamberlin also in on the play. Giants Stadium, Meadowlands. Giants on a 1-yard run by Phil Simms in front of the Philadelphia Eagles, 7-0. That is early first quarter. In the earlier meeting in Philadelphia, the Giants were walloped by the Eagles. As you look at Miami, head coach Don Shula, one of the premier coaches in the National Football League. 3-yard pickup by Howell, 2nd and 7, and Strock to throw. It down off the fingertips of Ronnie Lee. Roland James covering on the play.
Don Struck had an awful lot of time to pass that ball at time as he sat back. His protection really gave him a lot of time to sit down there and look. And the proof of the pudding was that he got down 25, 30 yards downfield and almost came up with a catch.
Ronnie Lee, the backup tight end, the intended receiver, and it sets up a 3rd and 7 at the 19th. Baltimore leading Buffalo 7-0. Bert Jones to Mike Ciani, 38 yards. Buffalo looking to make it 6-0. The Colts at 3 up, 2 down. Tony Nathan going nowhere as he was followed across by the outside linebacker Rod Schultz, along with late defensive end Julius Adams. So once again, the Dolphins are stopped.
Well, you know, everyone in this stadium is looking upon that Buffalo game with an awful lot of interest because Buffalo being in the same division. So it's an awful big game there today.
The crowd just reacted to the announcement of that score with Baltimore on top. New England head coach Ron Fargo Earhart, close personal friend of Dave Rowe, one of the many teams that Dave saw service with. As you look at George Roberts getting set to punt for Miami, the deep man is Mike Haynes. And he booms one. This is Haynes. Out to the 35. Beautiful move. Spinning across the 40-yard line. The Dolphins thought they had him pinned. They did not. So a superb run back by Mike Haynes. 53-yard punt, 32-yard return, and a timeout call. Patriots up 3-0.
Is for it.
Well, while we were away, the Patriots running off their first play, 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line, and a 1-yard pickup as Calhoun tried the left side, stopped by the nose tackle Bob Baumhauer. It'll be a 2nd and 9 for New England. At the Miami 38-yard line, Stanley Morgan to the left, Harold Jackson right, Vegas Ferguson, Don Calhoun, the running back. And Steve Brogan puts it up deep downfield, looking for Jackson, but it's picked off, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Harold Jackson, the intended receiver.
By Don McNeil.
And Don McNeil, the first-round draft pick, the rookie out of Alabama, who has been severely tested in this, his first season of the National Football League. That time, picking one off.
Well, Grogan here gets his chance to make a poor decision as he throws this long pass to Harold Jackson. But Harold Jackson against one-on-one against anyone is an excellent receiver and will come down with the ball. But Don McNeil just did tremendous that play.
For McNeil, it's his 2nd intercept of the year, and Miami will take over 1st and 10 at the 20 when we return. Following the interception by McNeil of Miami, the Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Patriots lead 3-0. 30-yard field goal by John Smith. Set up by the interception by quarterback Ray Claiborne as the Dolphins work out of the eye. And Struck to throw, 1st down. Swing pass. Delvin Williams out near the 25-yard line. And that'll set up a 2nd and 5. Roland James, rookie out of the University of Tennessee, making the stop on that man, number 24, 7-year pro out of Kansas, Delvin Williams.
Boy, Mel Lunsford played that play really well. He ran the line and he actually didn't make the tackle, but he made Delvin Williams cut back inside, and great pursuit got the play, or it could have gone for a lot of yardage, but that was just a great play by Mel Lunsford. A lot of pursuit on that play.
So Struck completes the swing for short yardage. He has completed 52% of his passes. However, he has lost his last 4 as a starter. Williams hammered at the line of scrimmage by Steve Nelson. Now, Steve Nelson leads the Patriots in tackles with 61 overall. Had a sensational game against the Jets last week. The man who blocked that field goal by Pat Leahy. Here's Nelson again doing it.
The heart of the defense in 34 is the interior, and Steve Nelson and Raymond Hamilton are really excellent players in there. They've played continually year after year and really played at 34 well. They move and pursue the ball just excellently.
It is a 3rd and 5 for Miami. Some confusion on the part of the Patriots as they line up. Let's see if Struck can take advantage. He goes sideline, penalty marker down as that pass was incomplete. Tony Nathan, the intended receiver, may have had too many men on the field. We saw a lot of shuffling by the Patriots. Might have been a 12th man.
I believe they tried to make a late decision on the coverage that they would have, and maybe didn't get one of the men off the field. When you're running specialists back and forth in and out of game, lots of times there is a little confusion there as to who's on the field at the right time.
That can be effective if you can get away with it. 12, 13 men as we look at the officiating crew headed by the referee, Bob Frederick.
Defense had 12 men on the field. First down.
There were a couple games, Marv, when I played that we really needed 12 men.
Yeah. Well, head coach Ron Earhart can't be too pleased about that penalty. These are two clubs. Well, they almost had a problem again. These are two clubs that are amongst the least penalized in the National Football League. It's a first down for the Miami Dolphins. Delvin Williams. Short pickup. Ray Hamilton, Steve Nelson, John Zamberlin. All involved in that tackle, led by the nose tackle, Sugar Bear Hamilton, in his 8th year out of Oklahoma.
Well, you see Ray Hamilton playing off a double team, taking the up back in there, and really plugs up the hole well. That's why he's been so successful and he's lasted so long in there. He's got excellent body strength, and he really can move to the ball well.
It is a 2nd and 8 as Delvin Williams picked up 2 on the play. 6.5 left. First quarter, Patriots 3, Dolphins nothing. Short setup for Struck, and time. And it's intercepted. Steve Nelson picking it off, intended for the tight end, Ronnie Lee. Nelson took a pretty good shot.
Rod Choate came in there real late and really hit him and really threw off the pass. Just as he was passing the ball, Rod Choate came in from the backside. You can see him there, 56, actually crawling, throws off the pass, and it's underthrown. Again, this is going to give great field position to the New England Patriots as they played the entire first quarter in Miami's 50-yard line territory.
And for Steve Nelson, it's his first interception of the season. Don Struck picked off for the 2nd time this first quarter. Earlier it was Claiborne. Now it's Nelson. When we come back, New England will take over. Well, NBC brought it to television first. All the spectacular plays, the memorable moments. The World Series is back where it belongs this Tuesday, October 14th, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And you'll see the Kansas City Royals go against either the Philadelphia Phillies or the Houston Astros in Game 1. That's Tuesday night here on NBC Sports. Out of the backfield and picks it off at the 35-yard line. So it's a 7-yard advance, setting up a 2nd and 3. Rusty Chambers, the inside linebacker on the left, making the stop on Ferguson.
I remember the days when I used to have to rush against the New England Patriots as an opposing player, and they really are an intimidating front line.
Some of the Patriots, some of your former teammates also had some choice words for you earlier, Dave, as Vegas Ferguson on the sweep. Picks up just short yardage. 5.5 remaining in this first quarter. And New England leading it by the score of 3-0 on a 30-yard field goal by John Smith following the interception by Ray Claiborne. And the Patriots on the move right here by virtue of the interception by Steve Nelson. There's Don Hasselbeck checking in. He injured a rib last week, but obviously is all right as the Patriots go double tight end for this 3rd and 1 at the Miami 33-yard line.
I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see them go over John Hanna in this situation, as he is perhaps their strongest blocker, number 73.
Well, they go Calhoun. He got a big hole and picks up the first down. Don Calhoun, last week rushed for only 44 yards, 16 carries against the Jets. This time picks up the first down.
You can see Hanna coming off the line there as Don Calhoun leaves his feet and goes over top of the pile. That's quite a challenge for a back to dive in there. And I noticed the crowd, after he carried that ball, all was going, hoon, Calhoun. So they were excited.
All right, Baltimore now leading Buffalo 10-0 as Baltimore looks to knock off the unbeaten Buffalo Bills. And Grogan is hammered down back at the 40-yard line. Big rush led by Kim Bokamper. So Bokamper, the outside linebacker on the left, gets to the quarterback.
Number 58 comes around the block, and they never really picked him up. Kim Bokamper, he came around the outside, and this really helps the Miami Dolphins as it brings them back out of the potential field goal range. They are out of field goal range now, the John Smith.
Green Bay leading Tampa Bay by the count of 7-0. Middleton, 3-yard run for the 2-3 Green Bay Packers. It'll be a second at 19 at the Miami 39. I see Bob Quiter now in at right guard for Sam Adams, who has been hobbled by an ankle, although Adams didn't start for the Patriots. And Grogan this time with protection, and it's a first down just inside the 20-yard line. Harold Jackson coming back to make the reception.
Harold Jackson's got so much speed coming off the line. He's been there so many years. He's been so successful. You can see that Grogan just steps up in the pocket and fires. Jackson ran the man deep and stopped and came back, and you have to respect the speed of Stanley Morgan and Harold Jackson.
And it's a 20-yard pass play with Don McNeil, the left quarterback, making the stop on Jackson. Harold, a 13-year man out of Jackson State, 5-time Pro Bowler. Sets up a 1st and 10 for New England at the Miami 20. 3:20 left, first quarter. Off the play action. It is good to Stanley Morgan. Beautiful pattern at the far side. And another New England first down. Gerald Small, the right quarterback, able to follow Morgan. Out of bounds, but too late.
I'll tell you, Steve Grogan has certainly looked impressive. He's very much under control of the situation. As he's told us in the past, he's playing to his teammates and his coaches. He looks at Stanley Morgan here. Stanley Morgan runs his man deep and comes back on an out pattern. He's got plenty of room to catch it. And again, a real speedster that you have got to respect.
And it's 1st and goal at the 8. Now Carlos Pennywell, 3-year veteran out of Grambling, splits wide left side. As you see, Grogan is 4 for 5. This time he goes to the running game. Ferguson on the sweep, not able to get in. All down. And the crowd takes exception to the way he was brought down. He was led beautifully by John Hanna, the left guard, and Kim Bokamper with a swiveling tackle. And the Patriots looking for a personal foul call. Russ Francis just argued, looking for a face mask on it, but they do not get it.
Well, they certainly are a very close team, as was evidenced there by Russ Francis being the first one over. Vegas Ferguson reminds me an awful lot of Gale Sayers and I'm that old. I played against him.
Yeah.
We can see John Hanna leading the row here. Actually looked like he did get his face mask. I think they had a legitimate gripe.
And the crowd still mumbling about it. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. This is Calhoun going wide, and he is hit. Big strike by Don Calhoun. Able to cut to the left around Glenn Blackwell, and it's New England leading Miami by the score of 9-0.
Well, again, you have to respect the strength of the New England Patriots in their interior. Don Calhoun gets outside here. Glenn Blackwood trips a little bit, and Calhoun is back inside. You can see how excited Calhoun is as he smashes that ball down in there. And the Patriots are an emotional team. This is what I saw yesterday at practice. They're an emotional team this year.
There's John Smith, who has been perfect thus far this season. Matt Cavanaugh waiting for the snap. Smith is now 17 for 17. 3 minutes left. First quarter, Foxborough, Massachusetts. And the New England Patriots now lead the Miami Dolphins by the score of 10-0. 42-yard drive, 8 plays. It consumed 3 minutes and 19 seconds, capped off by Calhoun taking it in from 1 yard out. And the Patriots lead it 10-0. The kickoff by Mike Hubach, the rookie out of Kansas. And here is Don Besseler out to the 10. And he fumbles on the play. He was really rammed, but the Dolphins able to recover. Bill Matthews, backup linebacker, second-year man out of South Dakota State, with a hard hit. And Dwight Stevenson able to recover for Miami.
As Don comes out of here, he definitely wants to get upfield in a hurry. And you can see the hit he takes right here, just right on the ball. Fortunately, they had a man back there who was heads up and recovered it. But the Miami Dolphins have got to come out and establish something. They haven't established the run or the pass. They've been playing in their own territory all first quarter.
And Strock has been intercepted twice, both leading to New England scoring plays. And Strock to throw on first down. And he completes out across the 20-yard line of the running back, Delvin Williams. John Zamblin right there to make the stop. Some of our stations along our network have been experiencing technical difficulties, and we do apologize for some of the problems we had earlier this first quarter. Cincinnati leads Pittsburgh 7-0. Charles Alexander, 1-yard run. So with 5.5 minutes left first quarter in Pittsburgh, the Bengals, who have to be the best 1-4 club in the National Football League, have the lead on Pittsburgh. This is Howell tripped up. And that ball was jarred loose, but may have been a whistle. We'll have to see. Richard Bishop in on the stop on Steve Howell. And the play was whistled.
I believe that as he went down, the ball hit the ground and popped out, which is, we can see here as he takes the ball, he does tuck it away, but right there he trips and goes down. The ball is down right there, so it is a dead ball when he does go down.
Miami now 3rd and 3. Minute 35 left first quarter. Dolphins trailing by the score of 10-0. This is Marv Albert with Dave Rowe from Foxborough, Massachusetts. There's Strock in big trouble. Oh, a beautiful one-handed catch for the first down. A gorgeous catch. Nick Giaquinto able to take it in. Tackled by Steve Nelson.
Well, Strock gets a little bit excited here as his protection starts to break down. Makes a great jump pass, but boy, Giaquinto made a great catch there to get him out of trouble. This is the first time they've gotten out a little ways where they're not operating so far back in their territory.
Nick Giaquinto is a young man out of the University of Connecticut who was cut by the Giants, cut by the Jets, was cut by Ottawa in the Canadian Football League, and has played very well for the Dolphins. Steve Howell going nowhere. Once again, Rod Schultz leading the Patriot attack.
There's an example of what makes the Patriots such an excellent defensive team. Their pursuit to the ball, you can see 8 or 9 jerseys getting up there. Pursuit to the ball, offside and backside pursuit is just exceptional as they're getting 5 and 6 guys to the point of attack every play.
Howell lost a yard, 2nd and 11. Back at the 26-yard line, and time is running down to this first quarter. We approach the 10-second mark. Nick Giaquinto is back in replacing Steve Howell. So the backfield of Williams and Giaquinto. Mark Dennard leads the club to the line, but they won't get it off. Time has run out in this first quarter. And a hand for the New England Patriots at the end of one here in Foxborough. It's New England 10 and Miami nothing. Now look at Bob Greasy, who is sitting it out because of shoulder problems. One unnamed Dolphin told me he couldn't throw a beach ball. That's how much he is hurting. So it may be that we will not see him at all this week and could be in trouble the next couple of weeks.
But he certainly has played an effective role for the Dolphins.
Particularly coming off the bench to lead the Dolphins to several whirlwind comeback victories. All right, this is Delvin Williams and Mel Lunsford and Ray Hamilton not allowing Williams to get off at all. We open up here in the second quarter, and Miami in a 3rd and 10, trailing by the score of 10-0, and they have not been able to do a thing against the Patriots. In fact, that tells the story right there.
As you said, Marv, the wind has played a big factor too. It's a whirlwind. We see the wind. The flag is straight on out. But now Miami has the wind at their back, so it should help them this quarter.
Patriots have the nickel back in there. It's Rick Sanford. And here's Strock going deep down the left side and overthrows. Pass intended for Dario Harris. And George Roberts will come on to punt for Miami. And again, a hand from this crowd here at Foxborough for the New England defensive unit. Roberts earlier with a 52-yard punt, but a great return by Mike Haynes. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New England Patriots and the National Football League is prohibited. This time, Roland James is back deep as it carries out of bounds at the far side. So we are 1 minute in, second quarter. 38-yard punt by Roberts. When we return, New England will go to the offense once again. All right, Dave, an illustration of how often statistics tell us nothing. Dolphins have had the football most of the way.
Well, the statistic in this game should be that the New England Patriots have had the ball in Miami's territory the entire time. Miami has not been able to move past their own 40-yard line.
It's a first down for New England at their 36. Calhoun and Ferguson, the running backs. Grogan to the air once again, and he's got Calhoun, but a short gain on the play. Larry Green, outside linebacker on the right, had it perfectly diagnosed. Again, our apologies to those stations down the line who have been experiencing technical difficulties. And we hope that things will be cleared up very, very shortly. We are early second quarter. Marv Albert, along with Dave Rowe, the one-time Raider, one-time Colt, one-time Saint, one-time Patriot, one-time Chunk, preparing him perfectly for the job as color commentator with NBC. Here's Vegas Ferguson. Did not make the turn. Kim Bocamper, number 58, able to make the stop. So Ferguson hauled down at the 40, right up the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3rd and 6.
Now, Marv, I don't want to add one-time NFL analyst next year.
Well, that's true. That's true. All right, the Bengals doing it again to the Steelers. 10-0 in the first quarter. Ian Sunner, 24-yard field goal to go along with that Charles Alexander 1-yard run.
Don't you know Bob Trumpy's having fun there?
Yes, true. Of course, Bob is very objective. Here's Grogan, who is 5 for his first 6, and he is hit down. That's the second sack for Miami. And it's Bocamper, who has had an excellent first half, getting to it.
He certainly has been active. I think as we watch the replay here, we can see that Steve Grogan was definitely looking way downfield, and Hanna was trying to run Bocamper wide. Bocamper reached out and just hooked. It looked like he almost hooked his face mask, but Grogan was definitely looking far downfield on that one.
And here is Mike Hubach getting set to punt to Tony Nathan.
Number 22, Tony Nathan.
Good hang time, and Nathan calls fair catch. And so the Miami Dolphins will take over. Don Besselo actually made the fair catch that was indicated by Nathan. A 30-yard punt. We'll be back in a moment.
NBC brought it to television first. The spectacular plays, the memorable moments. The World Series is back where it belongs, beginning Tuesday on NBC.
Look at Steve Grogan getting his left wrist wrapped. His Patriots leading it by the score of 10-0. Best field position of the day here for the Miami Dolphins. First down at their 42-yard line. Harris and Matt Moore on the wide receivers. So Verriel Harris, who was a question mark, has been in there, and the fumble is recovered by the Dolphins. Julius Adams getting to the quarterback Strock, and Bob Kuchenberg able to recover. They may have whistled it dead. We'll have to wait and see.
The receivers for the Miami Dolphins were so well covered that Julius Adams, number 85, had a chance to come all the way around from the backside. Seldom done for a sack.
Well, Don Shula, who said he would use the Orange Bowl game plan today for Foxborough, in that the Patriots have never won in Miami. And there's Don Strock off to the sidelines, as if the Dolphins don't have enough quarterback problems. And the rookie, David Woodley, 21-year-old out of LSU, has taken over for Strock. 2nd and 15 for Woodley. And this This is Steve Howell, the fullback, to the 45-yard line. Stopped by Mike Hawkins, the outside linebacker. Woodley started the game against New Orleans several weeks back. He was only 6 for 17, 75 yards, intercepted 3 times, and was forcing his passes through coverage. As Don Strock goes to the sideline, as we mentioned earlier, Bob Griese does not figure to see any action today because of the difficulties with the shoulder. Tony Nathan, Nick Giacquino in this passing situation, 3rd and 7. And here's Woodley off the back pedal. Leaping attempt. And Moore not able to hang on. And so the Dolphins are forced to punt.
As we looked at Don Strock on the sideline, it looked as if the doctor was examining his face, so he might have taken an inadvertent finger in the eye or gotten hit in the face somewhere. So that could be a fortunate incident for the Miami Dolphins, as it did not look like he was physically impaired as he went to the sidelines.
All right, here's George Roberts averaging 45 yards per punt over his first 2. That's Roland James, rookie out of Tennessee. First pick for the Patriots in the first round of the draft. Short punt and fielded by James. So the short return and the fumble waved off. The whistle had blown. Terry Robisky, recent acquisition, former Oakland Raider, in on special teams to make the stop for Miami off the 42-yard punt that took a good Dolphin hop. Today, the 28th meeting between the Patriots and the Dolphins. Miami leading the overall series 17-10. They have not been able to win here at Foxborough. In contrast, the Patriots have not been able to win at the Orange Bowl. 1st and 10 for New England at their 23-yard line. And Grogan throwing on the run for Calhoun, and it's broken up. Calhoun was really smashed, although the Miami defender got the worst of it. Don Besselou went flying out of the pack.
Don Besselou was just merely looking that ball in, as he knew he had an interception all the way. Grogan, as he does a slight roll, really floats the ball in here, and you can see Besselou coming up there. He knew he had an interception all the way. Had it not been for the other defender there, he probably would have gone several yards back with the ball.
And we're told that Don Strock just had the wind knocked out of him, so he will be back. David Woodley coming on to finish out that last series, but Strock will return. 10.5 remaining, second quarter. New England leading Miami on the count of 10-0. Grogan rammed again, 3rd sack of the day for Miami, so that rush has been effective. Although defensively, the Dolphins show up statistically as 12th in the AFC. This time it's Larry Gordon, the 5-year veteran out of Arizona State.
The New England Patriots offensive line spreads so wide that they really don't get the splits down, and it really makes a big difference on the pass rush. As we see, they're coming out on a hurry-up play here with Steve Grogan.
3rd and 20. And Grogan throws the middle, incomplete, looked to be deflected, intended for Stanley Morgan. Larry Gordon got a piece of it. Interestingly, the Dolphins last week not able to get to Burt Jones at all throughout the day. They've had 3 sacks here in the first half on Grogan. And here is Mike Hubach to punt from his end zone. Tony Nathan, the deep man, awaiting this Hubach punt. Nathan at midfield.
That Ron Earhart, head coach Fargo, said this year was one of his goals. Last year they ranked 28th in punting, and you can see how effective that punt was right there.
A 69-yard punt by Mike Hubach with 9:59 left, second quarter. Here is a confused Tony Nathan off that 69-yard punt by Mike Hubach.
Well, the wind plays a big factor in this as we see a 69-yard punt, and he really misjudges it. The wind was actually in Hubach's face when he kicked it, but the coverage was excellent also as they downed him inside the 25-yard line.
And Dave, that's the longest punt in the history of the New England Patriots. David Woodley remains in at quarterback as the Dolphins go to the attack. Duriel Harris out to the 30-yard line and some more. Able to spin away. Ray Claiborne covering up on Harris. Duriel, bothered by a shoulder injury, did not start the game, and right here makes the reception.
Duriel Harris here just does a slip screen. He comes off the line, drops back, and then actually they're trying to respect his speed. But that's what the Miami Dolphins have got to do. They've got to come out and establish something, whether it be the pass or the run. They haven't established anything yet.
As they measure for the first down, and it is close. Check the scoreboard. Giants now leading the Eagles 10-0 in the second quarter. That is a big surprise. Wilbert Montgomery's status for the game, though, was in question. It is just short of a first down. Response from the crowd on the announcement of that giant lead over the Eagles.
A giant lead?
Yes, most unusual. Giants opening up by surprising with a first game victory, but they have really had their difficulties. Steve Howell, straight ahead move. Larry McCrew, outside linebacker, and the left defensive end, Al Lunsford. Correction on that score. Giants now lead 13-0. Sims hit Johnny Perkins. Phil Sims to Johnny Perkins. 15-yard pass play. However, they missed the extra point. So it's the Giants 13 and the 4-1 Philadelphia Eagles nothing. They are in the second quarter.
It shows you how important the kicking game is at all periods. The touchdown, everyone cheers for the touchdown, and the extra point can play probably the major factor in any game, as we've seen over the past weeks. The kicking game has figured in almost every game this season.
Green Bay and Tampa Bay tied at 7. They are in the second quarter. Lynn Dickey intercepted by Richard Wood, who returned it 55 yards for the touchdown to tie it at 7. Miami, as you saw, picked up the first down. First and 10 at their 34-yard line. 6 minutes in, second quarter. Patriots with the 10-0 lead. And Woodley goes sideline, and it is nearly intercepted by Claiborne, intended for Matt Moore. Ray Claiborne, 4-year pro out of the University of Texas, looking for his second intercept of the afternoon.
Matt Moore that time tried to run an out and up, a motion where they actually come off the line, fake an out pattern. He fake pumps it to him, then lays it up to him going deep. But Claiborne never even bid on the pattern. He just covered them all the way.
From the end zone, a look at the sellout crowd here at Foxborough. And they have enjoyed what they've seen thus far. Patriots off to their best start in 6 years. 2nd and 10 for Woodley. Nick Giaquino. Richard Bishop making the stop. So Don Shula doing some shuffling in that backfield, this time using Giaquino for the run.
This is a roll draw here, and he gives the ball back to Nick Giaquino, but it really didn't fool the New England Patriots. But I believe Shula right now is trying to come up with anything that'll work. Anything. He's one of the great masterminds of coaching, as we've seen over the years, one of the most highly respected coaches in the National Football League, and he's trying to come up with something that'll work.
And he had to go to his bag of tricks in several games earlier this year, particularly that victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. And Woodley on the deep front, able to swing it. Giaquino with no running room. Ray Hamilton right there. And the Dolphins will be forced to punt.
I would never count out the Miami Dolphins, though. Under a great coaching staff, they've got excellent players. They've had a lot of adversity over this season, but they are a winning football team, and they've got a great tradition, and this game is a great tradition amongst them, as we can tell by the records over the years. So
George Roberts, 44-yard average over 3 punts. Sorry, Dave.
I was just going to say, never count out the Miami Dolphins and New England Patriots, regardless of what the records are.
This has been an excellent rivalry, although an unusual one, as we mentioned the fact that the Patriots have not been able to win in Miami. And the Dolphins have not been able to win here. Mike Haynes with a penalty flag thrown down, only the second flag of the afternoon. And Haynes was not able to get outside. Rusty Chambers follows him across. Good punt by Roberts. It carried 46 yards. As the officials talk it over.
With this added penalty, Marv, this could put the Miami Dolphins in a good position if they can finally control the offense of the New England Patriots deep in their territory, have the ball, punt it to them, get it within the 50-yard line. They might have a chance to get a score here and actually get some momentum back into the ball game, because they haven't established it as of yet.
And we'll get the official call from the referee, Bob Frederick.
Illegal use of the hands on the kick return team, number 38. First down.
Illegal use of hands is the call by Frederick.
That's usually an illegal chuck downfield. He pushed off the man as he came down the field, and you can't do that after 5 yards on the initial kick.
Vegas Ferguson to midfield. Vegas Ferguson pushed out at the 35-yard line.
The offensive line of the New England Patriots is just dominating the play at the point of attack. Vegas Ferguson came through a wide hole. We can see him as he takes a handoff here. He comes through a wide hole. He's got great vision. And as I said, it reminds me of Gale Sayers a lot with those long strides. He breaks to the outside, picks up a couple blocks there, and he's off to the races.
44-yard run by Ferguson. Don McNeil making the stop. There was some confusion as to who that penalty was called on just a moment ago. Guy Westbrook, the guilty party. Vegas Ferguson with short yardage on the play. Marv Albert, Dave Rowe from Foxborough, Massachusetts, where the Patriots lead the Miami Dolphins by the score of 10-0, just under 7 remaining in this first half. Interceptions of Don Strock setting it up for New England. Ray Claiborne picking one off. That led to a John Smith field goal from 30 yards away. And Steve Nelson with an intercept of Strock. And that concluded with Calhoun taking it in from 1 yard out. It's a 2nd and 6. And here's Calhoun. And hit back for a loss on the play. So Don Calhoun could not get outside. Larry Gordon, number 50. Right side linebacker making the stop. That New England front line with Dwight Wheeler and Shelby Jordan at the tackles, John Hanna and Bob Kreider at the guards. Kreider coming on for Sam Adams, and Pete Brock, who rotates with Bill Lenkaitis quarter by quarter. And this is Pete's quarter, so he is in there at center. Steve Grogan throwing deep. Harold Jackson right near the goal line. Let's see. It is a touchdown. Harold Jackson, his third touchdown reception of the year. Steve Grogan throwing his 10th of the season, and the Patriots lead it 16-0 as Jackson beat the rookie Don McNeil.
It's a tough position for a rookie to be in, as Don McNeil, as we watch the play here, Steve Grogan sets back, and Jackson just gave him an in fake, and Don McNeil had taken it, and Harold Jackson was in for a score. Don McNeil and really should have had help on a speedy receiver like that, because Harold Jackson has they're just opening too many avenues to attack here.
John Smith looking to make it 18 for 18, and he does just that. 5 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in this first half. And the New England Patriots now out in front of the Miami Dolphins by the score of 17-0 as Grogan and Jackson are able to combine. The announcement here that Grogan has thrown his 10th touchdown pass of the season. And we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
WBZ TV, Channel 4, Boston.
In Foxborough, Marv Albert, Dave Rowe. The New England Patriots leading the Dolphins 17-0. Grogan to Harold Jackson just a moment ago. Earlier, Calhoun went in from 1 following the interception by Steve Nelson, and a 30-yard field goal by John Smith. watch to kick off. And the Miami Dolphins are faced with a blowout disaster. They come off the loss at the hands of the Baltimore Colts last week, a game that saw Burt Jones able to pick apart Miami's inexperienced young secondary. The Dolphins did not exert much pressure on Jones, although that's not the case today. They've come up with 3 sacks. This is John Vesalo, and he's tripped up. Good low hit by Alan Clark, who was just recently activated. He was tremendous on special teams as a rookie a year ago, and Clark added to the roster this week, had a broken left thumb. And he is back in action, as you just saw. Coming up, more exciting NFL action, the second half of today's doubleheader, featuring the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders, the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons, and the Cleveland Browns go against the Seahawks of Seattle. That's coming up next here on NBC Sports. That'll be following Miami and New England. David Woodley, rookie out of LSU, remains in at quarterback for Miami. Penalty marker down. Delvin Williams with a big hole to pick up the first down. Roland James comes up from strong safety to make the stop, but there was a flag thrown.
It looked as if it was offsides against the Miami Dolphins, which on a running play, when you get 10 or 12 yards, is certainly going to hurt you, as it's going to take away a long gainer and put you deeper in your own territory. Anytime you get 17 points up on a team, your defensive lineman, everything changes, because your defensive lineman can just come off the ball, not worrying about the run. It changes the offense, because the offense can dictate whatever they want to play. They can run, they can pass, and everything compounds and opens itself up.
Offense offside, first down.
So the offside is called, and the ball placed back at the 15-yard line. Green Bay now leading Tampa Bay 14-7 with 6:48 left, second quarter. Dickey throwing a 6-yard touchdown pass. First and 15. At the 15, the Dolphins out of the eye. Play action for Woodley. And incomplete. Intended for Daryl Harris. Mike Haynes, the right cornerback, covering on the play. For the New England Patriots, 79-yard drive in 4 plays. That drive consuming only a minute and 25. That is not a happy man right now. He has John Strunk on the sideline, although the word was that he just had the wind knocked out of him. Bob Greasy obviously not available because of the shoulder injury. Suffered a hyperextended right shoulder last week in the 4th quarter. Woodley is now 2 for 5 for only 3 yards. Nathan and Giaquinto, the running backs. Second and 15. Obvious passing situation, which plays right into the hands of the Patriot. Nearly intercepted. Mike Haynes upset with himself. Should have had it. Intended for Daryl Harris.
I thought it was actually thrown to Mike Haynes. The timing when the new quarterback comes in, Marv, as we all know, is really hard, because on offensive day, which is usually Wednesday during the week, the first-team quarterback, in this case, Don Strock, is practicing with the offense, and Woodley is running the plays against the defense. So the timing is definitely off here. Hopefully they can get the timing back together.
Sure, David Woodley all week with Steve Grogan.
Maybe that's why he threw it to Mike Haynes.
Good point, Dave. And here's Woodley again going sideline and let it down. Haynes thought he should have had it again. That was a little bit tougher. Intended for Harris. So Mike Haynes gets a hand from the crowd. This is only his second start following the long holdout. Did play some of that Monday night game against the Denver Broncos. An ovation for Haynes and the Patriots as Haynes now drops back in the punt formation with George Roberts to kick from his end zone. And here's Haynes to the 40. Running low, great balance, gets to midfield. Bob Kuchenberg involved in the tackle on Haynes. A 51-yard punt by Roberts. And the Patriots take over at midfield. A reminder, next Saturday, October the 18th, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, NBC Sports World returns. It'll be live, a 10-round light heavyweight bout between undefeated Michael Spinks and Yaki Lopez. That's next Saturday on NBC Sports World at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Well, you saw all kinds of movement as the Patriots open up this series.
I understand we're going to have a great announcer on NBC for that Yaki Lopez fight.
Yes,
Marv.
Dr. Ferdy Pacheco will be on. Dr. Ferdy, NBC's boxing consultant, a man very much in the news recently. What with Muhammad Ali having the dreadful performance against Larry Holmes last week.
False start, number 73 offense. First.
False start. Bob Frederick confusing the numbers. He said 73. Apparently it was Shelby Jordan, who was 74. First and 15 at the 45-yard line. Grogan off play action. And he throws the bomb. Overthrows Harold Jackson. Yes, Ferdy and I will be on hand next Saturday from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Yaki Lopez and Michael Spinks on Sports World. There's Harold Jackson coming back. As you look at that later score, the Baltimore Colts now leading the Buffalo Bills 10-6 in the second quarter. New England very much interested because a Buffalo loss and a New England win would make for a tie atop the AFC East. Roosevelt leaks with a 1-yard run, and the extra point was missed. So it's Baltimore 10 and Buffalo 6. It is a 2nd and 15. And this is Calhoun. Step moves, but Doug Vetter is right there. 3-year pro out of Nevada Reno, wearing number 75, stopping Calhoun. Again, the quick setup. So Grogan calling a couple plays in the huddle. Steve is 6 for 10, 76 yards. And Grogan firing deep. Stanley Morgan. The leaping catch. He clearly beat the Miami coverage.
Steve Grogan really took a shot on that ball as he laid it up there, but Stanley Morgan was so wide open. There was just no one was even near covering. You can see the shot that Grogan takes here, but you can also see how open Stanley Morgan was on that play. So it had to be a breakdown in coverage that time.
Gerald Small and Ed Taylor had their problems as Morgan picked it off a 26-yard pass play. Apparently Grogan is all right, and it's a first down at the 25-yard line. 3 minutes, 50 seconds left, second quarter. New England leading 17-0 and on the move once again. This is Ferguson. He was bumped by his old man. Vegas Ferguson bumped by John Hanna.
Vern Denhitter at that time got excellent penetration, which knocked off John Hanna and didn't allow it. And in turn knocked off Vegas Ferguson, so Ferguson was unable to get around the corner. That's what penetration in that situation will do.
And it's a 2nd and 11 for the Patriots at the Miami 26-yard line. Morgan left, Jackson right. Calhoun and Ferguson, the running backs. Again, Ferguson on the slant. Beautiful running to the 20. Couple of stutter step moves thrown in by the rookie out of Notre Dame. Vegas Ferguson, Ernest Roan, inside linebacker, making the stop. And it sets up a 3rd and 5.
They certainly have made up for the loss of Sam Cunningham, the other holdout on the team, with Vegas Ferguson, a young rookie from Notre Dame, and that's really a tribute to his talent to be able to come in here and start for such a powerful running team.
And ironically, the Dolphins were very interested in Sam Bam Cunningham, but apparently he did not pass the physical. This is Chuck Foreman. As Ron Earhart does some shuffling. Ernest Roan making the tackle. It is a 4th and about 2, and John Smith will be inserted.
I told John Smith yesterday at practice that I'd be sure and mention him if he did something, so he's coming in and kicking again. He is one of the truly fun guys in the National Football League. He's a lot of fun to be around. He's got a great sense of humor, and he loves soccer.
He hit from 30 yards earlier. The 2-minute warning has now been provided as Smith gets set, and he has been 9 for 9 on field goals of 40 yards or less. So when we resume following this timeout, Smith will try again.
Next Sunday, start your day with host Bryant Gumbel and NFL 80, followed by heavy-hitting AFC action featuring the Bills-Dolphins rematch, the high-flying Seahawks versus the topsy-turvy Jets, and the Patriots-Colts clash. Check local listings for the game in your area.
35-yard attempt coming up for Southampton's John Smith, and we're not talking about Southampton, Long Island. Southampton, England's John Smith originally came to the United States as a visiting soccer camp instructor. Went for a tryout with New England in '73. He was actually signed and traded to Pittsburgh, then released, got a second chance with New England, and has emerged as one of the finest place kickers in the game. Right now, he leads the AFC in scoring. And here's the 25-yard field goal attempt upcoming.
An interesting thing about John Smith is that he can kick with either foot. I've seen him kick both with the right foot and the left foot, but he feels he's more accurate kicking with his left foot.
I wonder if we'll ever see an ambidextrous attempt. I mean, that's nice to show in practice, Dave. What do you do with it, though?
I did see it one time on a kickoff.
All right, we'll get back to that later. Here is Smith drilling it. But this time it is no good. Well, we give John the big build-up, and he blows. Blows the field goal.
Probably should have kicked it with his right foot.
You're right. Minute 56 remaining in the first half, and the score remains New England 17 and Miami nothing. And the Dolphins, who have been invisible thus far in this first half, will take over at the 20-yard line.
The interesting thing about this is that one score by Miami can get them back in the ball game, and that is what they have got to do before halftime if possible.
Well, Duriel Harris goes out to the left, Matt Moore to the right. This is David Woodley, the rookie out of LSU, with time, and guns it. Really a fine catch. A pivoting move with Roland James covering Delvin Williams. So it is a 2nd and 10. Correction, the tight end Bruce Hardy, the intended receiver. It'll be a 2nd and 10 out of the 20. David Woodley was an 8th round draft pick out of LSU, and in college he was part of a 2-quarterback system. Is a pro-type drop-back quarterback. He can scramble. He has had his problems here. 2 for 8 for only 3 yards. And down he goes. Back at the 10. Tony McGee with his 4th sack of the year, combining with Sugar Ray Hamilton.
See the pressure that Woodley's under right here. Ray Hamilton gets great penetration in there, and there's just nowhere for Woodley to go, nowhere for him to step up. This is what we were talking about earlier when we said that New England is not respecting Miami at all in the running game. They're just taking off with a 17-point lead. They have no regard whatsoever for the running game.
It is a 3rd and about 19 coming up, but a timeout has been called. Timeout called by the Patriots.
They're going to try to get a free kick situation in this time.
Minute 35 remaining in this first half, and the Patriots lead the Dolphins 17-0. The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. It is a 3rd and 19 for the Dolphins. Back at their 11-yard line. Minute 35 left first half. Miami trails 17-0, and Woodley sacked. Ray Hamilton, 8-year veteran out of Oklahoma, getting to the rookie quarterback, David Woodley.
As they tried a moving pocket that time, no one blocked Raymond Hamilton at all. They were trying a moving pocket with David Woodley, which scrambled out to give him a little bit more time to pass, and absolutely no one blocked Raymond Hamilton. He got one of those famous Dave Rowe sacks, Marv. That's where the quarterback runs into the defensive lineman.
Yeah. Yes, Hamilton mentioned that to us prior to the game. Here's George Roberts, averaging 46 yards per punt. This afternoon, he's kicked 5 times. And Mike Haynes awaits the punt out near midfield. Roberts is about as far back as you can go. Penalty marker down, and a short punt. Here's Haynes, 35. Across the 30, has open road. And run out penalty marker down. Back of the end zone. Terry Rubisky, backup running back, able to hem Haynes in along the sideline and run him out.
We had several flags on that play right there. We had an early flag on the line. Then I saw the referee who called that flag threw his hat as an indication of another penalty.
And so the officials talk it over. The referee is Bob Frederick, the umpire Lou Palazzi, head linesman Sid Salmon, line judge Bob Beeks, back judge Bill Swanson, Ron Murphy, the side judge, Bob Wortman is the field judge. That's Steve King, a member of the Patriot specialty team, backup linebacker, involved in the discussion.
As a player, I always thought Lou Palazzi had great control of the game for a referee. A lot of respect for him, and as I played, I thought he really kept the players really under control.
Was he overly favorable to you, Dave? Is that
well, he took care of me and knew me on a first-name basis. Something the fans didn't.
Multiple fouls. Defense was offside, and the kick return team were clipping, and we will enforce the defensive offside at the previous spot.
Well, as you heard Frederick explain, and the crowd trying to figure it out, but the end result is that the defensive offside call at the kick will be in effect. And here's Dave to explain that even further.
Well, the initial penalty was the offsides, and that was the first penalty and had the most bearing on the situation. We can watch Bob Frederick as he comes over here. He's trying to explain to his other referees. You know, as a player, the referees do an excellent job. I think they're right probably 99, 98, 99% of the time. They really control the game and do an excellent.
You're right. Palazzi was very nice to you because I've heard only good words. Baltimore leads Buffalo 10-6 in the second quarter. And Cincinnati in front of Pittsburgh 17-0 in the second. Anderson to Pete Johnson, 28-yard pass play. Again, Mike Haynes is back. And George Roberts taking that high snap. And this time gets off a good one. Haynes back at his 40. Penalty marker down again. And Haynes has really popped. And let's see, now the Dolphins able to cover up. New England not able to get to it. The Miami Dolphins cover up on the play. However, there was a penalty marker down. Terry Rubisky covered up the fumble off the 51-yard punt by George Roberts.
It looked like a clipping penalty against the New England Patriots, which could really give the Miami Dolphins a boost as they go in at halftime.
On the kick return team, fumble, and the other team recovered. First down. The fifth foul will be refused.
Alan Clark, the man who is assessed the clip as we take another look. Here's Mike Haynes on the return.
Well, the clip was out of the picture, but what a hit Mike Haynes took there. Boy, that was a whale of a hit to knock that ball 15 yards downfield. He really came in there and hit him.
And you saw Rubisky, a recent addition to the Dolphins squad. This is only his second game with Miami, covering up. Only 38 seconds remaining in this first half. First and 10 for Miami at the New England 27-yard line. Here's Woodley off the roll, looking deep. And incomplete. Mike Haynes covering. Matt Moore on the play.
That short roll by David Woodley. He drops back out of the pocket and then tries to rotate the pocket out wide to get away from the pressure inside. But the defense is really reacting to it well.
As you see, Giants lead the Eagles now in a big surprise, 16-3. Joe Danello, 47-yard field goal. And it's Green Bay over Tampa Bay, 14-7 in the second quarter. Dallas leads San Francisco 7-0 in the first. 31 seconds left first half. And Woodley with a penalty marker down, able to complete for a first down. Matt Moore, the 7-year pro out of the University of Florida, getting in front of Mike Haynes. But the flag down, and it's against the Dolphins.
What a crucial time for a holding penalty against the Miami Dolphins. They had the ball in on about the 12 or 13 yard line with just a few seconds left, a potential chance to score, and now they're going to be pushed back. Just again compounds the problems that the Miami Dolphins have had. And when you are injury ridden, the little tiny penalties seem like they become major ones.
Offensive holding, number 68.
It's the right tackle, Eric Loxo. 3-year man out of Tulane. There's Eric. And he is called for the hold.
Hey, what always bothered me, Marv, was having my name announced if I made a penalty. And I'm sure Eric Loxo didn't appreciate that either, but he's a fine player, and he'll come back. That's a true sign of his ability.
And that is a recent innovation, announcing the names of the offenders. There's Woodley off the roll. Leaping attempt, but Moore in front of Haynes, not able to hang on. Tim Fox also covering on the play. Nat Moore, who is outstanding in pressure situations, had he come up with that one, would have been a sensational catch.
One thing, as we saw David Woodley roll out that time, David's got to understand that you've got to drill that ball in there. It seems to be letting up on the ball a little bit, trying to pinpoint his passes rather than firing it in there. And the ball, consequently, has taken a long time to get there. And the defensive secondary, all #1 draft choices, have got great speed, and they can cover a lot of ground in a short time.
Woodley has not hit on his last 6 passes. 15 seconds left now. Big rush. Woodley was trying to ward off Hamilton with his hand and could not. First half it's been for Sugar Bear Ray Hamilton.
He certainly has been impressive. They're just getting great penetration there. The front wall of Miami is really trying to hold them out. But again, when you have no respect at all for the run, everyone is just taking off on the pass, not worrying about the run, and it really is a tough job for the Miami defense, offense line to keep them out.
Hamilton's 3rd sack of this first half. So he has 5 on the season, 3 in this first half. And the Dolphins now looking to let that clock run down, then call for time with 6 seconds remaining.
I believe they're going to try one long pass to get somewhat in field goal range and bring in their field goal kicker, hopefully to get on the board. Don Shula's feeling is that they have got to get on the board before halftime, and they're going to need just an accurate pass, either an out-of-bounds pass or a pass that'll get them down inside the 30-yard line for them to even have a chance at a 50-yarder.
So the Dolphins talking things over. That's the rookie quarterback, David Woodley, and the head coach, Don Shula. Don Struck started, was totally ineffective, intercepted twice, both leading to scores, once by Claiborne leading to a John Smith field goal, and then by Nelson, and that was capped off by Calhoun taking it in from 1 yard out, and then Struck was hammered, had the wind knocked out of him, but has not returned. David Woodley came on, and he has had his difficulties. Apparently Bob Greasy is not available because of the shoulder injury, although the Dolphins have not officially said that, but there is the feeling that he could be out for a couple of weeks.
Well, this is quite a learning experience for David Woodley, a rookie, to come in, but he had a tremendous preseason. They were very, very high on him and traded Guy Benjamin because of that, and they've got high hopes for him.
All right, Elmer Bailey, Jimmy Cephalo now are in as the extra wide receivers. And Woodley will put it up with time running out. Now he goes short. A hard hit on Joe Rose. Steve Nelson hammering, and his time has run out. It is ruled incomplete. And that's the end of the first half. And a devastating first half for the New England Patriots, will receive a standing ovation as they head back to the locker room. So at halftime, it's the Patriots leading the Dolphins by the score of 17-0. We'll be back shortly with a recap of all the scores on NFL 80. That's the end of the first half. New England 17 and Miami nothing. Patriots leading the Dolphins by the score of 17-0, and obviously Miami with severe problems as they look to the second half.
New England certainly has come out and shown why they are a team to be reckoned with in the Eastern Conference. They have totally dominated the game, and I can't think of any area that Miami has showed promise in the first half.
Miami now with a quarterback problem. They've been going with the rookie out of LSU, 8th-round draft pick David Woodley. Don Strock started the game. He left after having the wind knocked out of him. Bob Greasy not available. And it looks to be a learning process for Woodley in the second half, which is not ideal conditions from the Miami point of view.
Miami has put in a couple plays for David Woodley to use his ability to roll out, something I guess he has been accustomed to in college, and perhaps he can get effective, picking up receivers a little bit on that time.
On the other hand, for the New England Patriots, who were not devastating last week against the Jets, but still were able to beat the Jets 21-11, it has been a tremendous first half, particularly defensively, with Hamilton coming up with 3 sacks.
Well, I told Ray Hamilton that I would talk to him and about him, and that's what we're doing today.
All right, outstanding first half for the Patriots. We'll be back here in Foxborough later. Right now, let's go to Bryant Gumbel, NFL 80.
To our NFL 80 studios in New York, I'm Bryant Gumbel. This is Sunday number 6 of the NFL season, trying to get you caught up on just what is happening around the league. Up in Buffalo, the Bills are trying for their 6th straight win. Not since they won the old AFL title back in 1964 have they had such a good start. But today they are losing to the Baltimore Colts in the second period. That score right now standing at 17-6. It is Burt Jones who has the Colts flying high and going for a 4-2 record. It was Burt Jones who put the Colts on the board first. Touchdown strike here to Mike Ciani, 38 yards in distance, 7-0 Baltimore. Burt's been having a fine afternoon. He has 9 touchdown passes on the year. This one set up another field goal. Roger Carr, the completion here, led to a field goal that made it 10-0. It was left to Joe Ferguson to bring the Bills back, completing one here to Roland Hooks. At the end of the drive, it was Roosevelt Leaks taking it over from the 1, but the point after was missed, and it was 10-6. Then just moments ago, this is Don McCauley, number 23, taking it in from 3 yards out. Baltimore is out in front of Buffalo. Burt Jones providing the enthusiasm right there. Baltimore out in front by a score of 17-6 up at Rich Stadium. Miami against New England. The Patriots trying to up their record to 5-1. The Dolphins, if they lose it, will drop to 500 at 3-3 at the half. That score right now at 17-0. It is Grogan and Calhoun and the Patriot offense that has been very much in charge of this ball game. Grogan rebounding from a knee injury. It was Matt Cavanaugh that saw a lot of work for Ron Earhart last week, but he's been watching the efforts of Grogan. Don Strock got a start for Miami, but he was intercepted early on by Ray Claiborne. It set up a field goal. That made it 3-0 Patriots. Steve Grogan having himself another fine afternoon, but he's getting a lot of help. Watch this catch, courtesy of Russ Francis, fighting for the ball. Great juggling act. That led to a Don Calhoun touchdown, a 1-yard run, nothing inside. Calhoun takes it outside, and just like that, the Patriots have themselves a 10-0 lead. They called on the considerable talents of a fine rookie by the name of Vegas Ferguson, 44-yard run from the kid from Notre Dame. It set up another Patriot field goal. Steve Grogan going up top this time, finding the ageless one, Harold Jackson, cutting across. Harold takes it in for the score, and just like that, New England out in front by a score of 17-0. 17-0 is the count right now at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh also, where the Steelers came in looking for revenge against a Bengals team that upset them just 3 weeks ago by a score of 30-28. But the same mistakes they made the last time, they are making this time. Craig Colquitt, the punter, injured after rushing for a first down. Here's how it happened. Heads-up play. It was going to be blocked, so he kept it and ran it. It got the Steelers a first down, but when he was knocked out of bounds, he suffered a knee injury. And it is Bradshaw that has had to do the punting. It was Kenny Anderson that set up the game's first score, completing a pass there to M.L. Harris down to the 1-yard line. And then Charles Alexander, who's enjoyed a fine first half, takes it in, and just like that, Cincinnati's in front 7-0. What kind of a day has it been for the Bengals? Well, Ian Sinter's ball hits the upright and goes over to make it 10-0. Matt Barr tries one. His hits the upright, does not go over. It's been that kind of an afternoon for the Steelers. Terry Bradshaw and company having their problems. Bradshaw flipping this one out to Sidney Thornton. But it's a Bengals team that is very much alive, coming up with a fumble right there. And then Kenny Anderson looking over the middle, finding Pete Johnson, and Pete Johnson running away from the field. 17-0. The Bengals trying for a sweep of the Steelers, their first sweep ever of the Steelers, and their first win ever at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh at 17-0 at the half. Also at the half, another upset, this one going on at the Meadowlands. What's going on with the Giants? Coming into this game, the Giants had given up the most points in the NFL. The Eagles had given given up the lease, but at the half, the Giants are out in front of the Eagles by a score of 16-3. Green Bay against Tampa Bay. This one just nobody's joy to watch. Green Bay out in front by a score of 14-7 at the half. Packers trying for their second straight win. Dallas going against San Francisco. The 49ers jumped out of the gate with a 3-0 mark, but they are now riding a 2-game losing streak, and they're in the process of losing their third straight. They're going against the Cowboys. Cowboys out in front 14-0. Danny White, a 16-yard touchdown pass to Drew Pearson. Ron Springs, a 1-yard run. It's 14-0 in the first. Los Angeles going against St. Louis. The Rams coming into this ball game on the strength of 3 strong efforts in the past 3 weeks, high scoring, but that ball game scoreless in the first quarter. And Chicago against Minnesota, it's a rematch for this one. The Vikings won the first encounter of the year. Rick Danmeyer's 35-yard field goal, the only scoring in that ball game up in Bloomington. Vikings leading the Bears by a score of 3-0. It's a doubleheader day here on NBC. Games yet to come. Jets still in search of win number 1. Cleveland going against Seattle. Houston trying to rebound from a loss last week, and the big one is a rematch. That's San Diego against Oakland. Second half of football to come. Let's go back to the ball.
Thank you, Brian. And here in Foxborough at halftime, it's New England 17 and Miami nothing. And NFL 80 halftime activities will continue in a moment, right after these messages from your local station. Foxborough, Massachusetts, halftime. Problem among many, particularly in the secondary. Dallas over San Francisco now 38-7. A Tony Dorsett 2-yard run. Danny White to Drew Pearson for 17, and they're only in the second quarter. First down, Kavanaugh throws again, intended for Morgan, but batted down. Stanley Morgan saw a sure 6, but Kim Bocamper, number 58, was able to keep it away.
Well, again, Mark, we have to give credit to the New England Patriots team. They have an excellent front line and certainly has dominated the game. But the statistics of the Miami Dolphins have been so hindered because their defense has been on the field all the time.
In that Ram Cardinal game, Ferragamo has thrown for 1 and run 1 in from 4 yards out. Second and 10 at the 12. Hit down at the 10. That'll set up 3rd and 8. Again, it's Bocamper on the stop.
Don't you know Chuck Foreman is really excited about being on this team? You can see Chuck Foreman, number 22. This is the old Chuck Foreman who used to break outside, one of the premier backs over the years, and he's excited about being here with the New England Patriots. It's a new lease on him. It was I know exactly what he feels, because when I went with the Oakland Raiders, it was a similar situation for me, and he feels new life, and he certainly has been a real plus for this team.
Andy Johnson has come on now in that Patriot backfield. And the Patriots have called for time. You see Matt Kavanaugh over to talk to Ron Earhart. 10 minutes, 16 seconds left, fourth quarter. New England with a 24-0 lead on Miami as the Patriots look to go 5-1. Beat the Jets at Shea Stadium in New York last week for their 3rd straight win. Patriots beat Denver, Seattle, and Cleveland. The only loss here in Foxborough in that surprise, losing to Atlanta. With the timeout, we'll pause for these words.
NBC brought it to television first. The spectacular plays, the memorable moments. The World Series is back where it belongs, beginning Tuesday on NBC.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for these Miami Dolphins, because next Sunday, Miami will be home for Buffalo, although Buffalo having its difficulties this afternoon. They're trailing Baltimore 17-9 in the fourth quarter. And Kavanaugh actually tripped himself up, stumbled. Larry Gordon covering up on the play off that 3rd and 8. And John Smith will come on. Smith is 1 for 2 this afternoon. He did hit from 30 yards out in the first quarter.
John Smith told me that he dislocated his shoulder on a kickoff, and that's why he doesn't do it any longer. I couldn't believe that he was down there making a tackle, but he was real proud of that dislocation.
He's tough. 36-yard attempt off the high snap. And he puts it right through. So Smith now 2 for 3 on the day, and he is 10 for 12 on the season. 9:45 left fourth quarter. New England 27, Miami nothing. Well, there's a man that has to reevaluate his ball club as he looks the rest of the way. Miami following today, unless there is a miracle here in the fourth quarter, on its way to a 3-3 record, and Buffalo upcoming next week. Don Vesselo on the return, and Vesselo able to break out across the 35-yard line. Steve McMichael, backup defensive lineman, makes the stop. All the spectacular plays and the memorable moments. The World Series is back where it belongs. This Tuesday, October the 14th, 8 o'clock Eastern time, you'll see the Kansas City Royals go against the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 1. That's Tuesday night here on NBC Sports. I should say the Phillies or the Houston Astros. That was an Albert prediction and got the best of me. I did pick the Phillies in 5. Here's Woodley throwing the middle, and it is complete. Bob Golick, first-year pro out of Notre Dame, with the hard hit on Tony Nathan. So 5-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the 42.
Miami, as you said, Marv, certainly has to reevaluate their team, whether to go with younger players or not.
Patriots now with a 306-62 edge in total offense. It has been a TKO here by the New England Patriots. And it's picked off. Ray Claiborne, second interception of the afternoon. Elmer Bailey had it deflect off his chest.
That certainly wasn't David Woodley's fault. The last 2 or 3 passes have not been clean caught balls. The one prior to that wasn't clear, and this one here wasn't either. That's a ball that should be caught right there. And of course we see it go over top of his head. Raymond Claiborne, he certainly knows, a 4th-year player, he certainly knows what to do with it. Everybody loves to carry a ball though, Marv.
So New England taking over. 43-yard line. 1st and 10, 8:48 left in this fourth quarter. Second time that Woodley has been picked off. A long afternoon for the young man out of LSU. Alan Clark seeing action here in the fourth quarter. Good second effort out near the 40-yard line. Clark, the second-year man out of Northern Arizona. He and Mosi Tatupu now in the backfield for the Patriots. Doug Betters, right defensive end, making the stop. 3-yard advance, 2nd and 7 at the Miami 40-yard line. So Ron Earhart getting an opportunity to take a long look at a lot of people here in the fourth quarter. Don Westbrook, 4-year man out of Nebraska, has come on for Harold Jackson. Thomas Pennywell in there for Stanley Morgan. And once again, Alan Clark again. Good acceleration to the 35-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd and 2. Clark stopped by Rusty Chambers.
As New England drives for their division, whether they be in the division final or not, as they do drive for a division title, you need a lot of experience for these second-string players, the backup players. And in a game like this, regardless of what the score is, it is really important for these players to get in and get playing time in case of an injury or something like that could happen to them. So I'm sure Ron Earhart appreciates that.
Here's the 3rd and 2. And it is Clark hurdling over for the first down. On the line for the Miami Dolphins, facing their first shutout in some 10 years. They were blanked back-to-back back in 1970. Well, the Eagles have certainly taken charge after that early Giant lead. Giants led by 16-3 in the second quarter. It is now 31-16. Philly, Jaworski, and Keith Crefley, 6-yard pass play to up that score to 31-16 with 7.5 left in the fourth quarter. New England first down at the 33, and it's Tatupu. Mosi Tatupu, T-A-T-U-P-U, Southern California. Some good running by Tartuffe, preserved a victory over Seattle earlier this season. Larry Gordon making the stop.
I sat in a jacuzzi last night with them at the hotel, and they certainly were relaxed, and their atmosphere was really, I tell you, I really think they've got it together this year. We were at the hotel, and we were having a good time as I kind of reminisced with all the old players.
Wait a second, you sat in a jacuzzi?
Yeah. The water level went up, though.
All right, here is Tartuffe again. That is really throwing names. You sat in a jacuzzi with the New England Patriots.
That's right.
That's how you did your studying.
Well, I sat there and asked them if they had anything tricky they were going to use today.
All right, Betters, Chambers, and Gordon made the stop. All right, here's a little trivia for you folks. What did these NFL head coaches have in common? And it's a long list.
I know exactly what they had in common.
Let's hold on that, Dave. And we'll provide the answer in a moment. 3rd and 4. As Kavanaugh goes sideline. Carlos Pennywell, 3-year man out of Grambling, picking up the first down. Ed Taylor covering on the play. Here's the answer now. They all coached Dave Rowe in his 13-year NFL career, and you may notice not one is still in the National Football League.
I resemble every mark, Mark. That just proves if you play long enough, you're going to play around a lot of guys.
Dave, there's no need to explain.
Oh, well.
First out at the 21, 5:19 left, 4th quarter. And the Patriots lead the Dolphins 27-0. Alan Clark not able to make the turn and really spun out by Kim Bocamper.
I'm really surprised at Alan Clark coming in here. Well, I'm not really surprised, but I love to see a player come in. He just got activated. He's playing with a lot of emotion. I've been watching his actions as he's gotten up, and he's excited about being out there and having a chance to play. I think anyone at this time would be excited about playing for the New England Patriots. As we've indicated, they seem like the dominant team, them along with Buffalo, and of course, Baltimore has made a late resurgence in this conference.
Things continue the way they have. The Patriots will end the day in a tie for first in the AFC East with Buffalo, if Baltimore able to maintain the lead. Here's the 2nd and 4 down at the 15, and Kavanaugh keeping it on the ground. Tartuffe for a couple inside the 15. Larry Gordon making the stop. Notice Don Shula has stayed with his starters in the on the linebacker core, and matter of fact, up front, not lifting anyone, and it's awfully tough out there right now.
It is an awful tough situation for Miami to be in. But I tell you, they're a team with pride, and any professional football player's got pride, and some of those fellas don't want to come out of there in this situation.
Or it could be punishment. Several ways to look at it. Clark on the sweep. Clark, first touchdown of the season. He was the key man on this Patriot drive. Matt Kavanaugh just looking to keep it on the ground, and the Patriots take it in.
What a lead block by Bob Kreider, number 75 here. I don't know if he comes into the picture, but it was just an excellent block there. He's from Alabama, a young man, and he's backing up. He's in his 3rd year backing up Sam Adams, and he's having a good day today as New England continues the running game, the running domination over the Miami Dolphins.
15-yard run by Alan Clark. 33-0 Patriots. And here's John Smith. Kavanaugh did well to put that high snap down. And the New England Patriots now lead the Miami Dolphins 34-0 with 4:26 left in this 4th quarter. Well, in Buffalo, the Baltimore Colts now lead the Buffalo Bills 17-12. Nick Nickemeyer, 21-yard field goal with 5:53 left in the 4th quarter. Earlier, he kicked one from 49, and it's now Baltimore 17 and Buffalo 12. This is Bessalou out to the 20, and a hard hit once again, this time Tatupu. So Gino Cappelletti's special teams have looked very impressive. They have not let up despite the score.
An interesting statistic, or I should say situation. New England uses 3 #1 draft choices on their kickoff return. So that shows the enthusiasm that Gino Cappelletti's got on those special teams.
Miami first down at their 20-yard line. It has been an embarrassing afternoon for the Dolphins. Their combined passing now between Strunk and Woodley, 9 for 29, only 33 yards, 4 interceptions. Nathan and Trubisky in at running back, and this is the swing. Tony Nathan. Out at the 30-yard line, Larry McGrew, the rookie out of USC, able to make the stop. 4 minutes left in the ball game, and the Patriots up by the score of 34-0. Miami with a rare first down out at the 30-yard line. A reminder coming up following Miami and New England. More NFL action. The second half of today's doubleheader featuring the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders, the Jets in Atlanta, the Browns and the Seahawks. Right here on NBC Sports. David Woodley hit down. Larry McGrew. Sack number 5 for the Patriots, and that matches the total last week against the New York Jets.
Well, Woodley never sees Larry McGrew come in here, and you know that's a thrill for Larry McGrew to get in there. He doesn't get into play that much playing behind Rod Schott. But when he came in, he did something, and those things are noticed by the coaches. And boy, it's an enjoyable time for the New England Patriots. And as you said, a rough time for Miami.
First sack of the NFL career for Larry McGrew, second-round draft pick out of University of Southern Cal. And Woodley throws the middle incomplete, intended for Elmer Bailey. The rookie out of Minnesota, Rick Sanford, covering on the play. At Tampa Bay, the Bucks and the Packers now tied at 14. And they are late fourth quarter. Doug Williams scoring on a 5-yard run to tie it up. Green Bay 14, Tampa Bay 14. That's a matchup of two and three ball clubs. Third down and 20 with 3.5 left. It has been all New England right from the start. The statistical differential has been overwhelming. Way short of the first down as Hardy was able to catch it in front of McGrew, who gave him the short yardage. So here's George Roberts, and he is about to tie a Miami Dolphins club record, which is a record that Don Shula will not be talking about as he comes out a punt for the 10th time this afternoon. Roberts averaging 46 per punt. Mike Haynes dropping back deep. Roberts back near his 10. He is a 3-year man out of Virginia Tech. And Mike Haynes awaits the punt back at the 30-yard line. Art Haynes with the fair catch. And the Patriots will put it in play right up the 30-yard line. A 42-yard punt by Roberts. This Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, it'll be Games People Play, and you'll see the World Cannonball Championship, soupy sales, and custard pie throwing. All this and more Thursday, Games People Play, here on NBC. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the game. It's a Patriot rout. They lead it 34-0. They stay with Kavanaugh at quarterback. Clark and Foreman are the running backs. And Chuck Foreman finding a hole on the right side. Hit by the host of Miami Dolphins as Foreman brings out to the 35-yard line. It'll set up 2nd and 6.
You have to admire Ron Earhart in this situation. He's content to keep the ball on the ground, as he did last series. They're certainly not trying to run up the score on the Miami Dolphins. There's too much respect between the two coaching staffs to do that. They kept the ball entirely on the ground last series, and I'm sure that they'll do it this series also.
Pennywell is left and Westbrook right. And again, it's Foreman. for a short advance as we approach the 2-minute mark. And there's the whistle. So now 2 minutes left in the game, and the New England Patriots out in front of the Miami Dolphins 34-0. We'll be back after these messages. And for the Miami Dolphins, 75 yards represents their lowest total offense in a single game. A string of negative statistics that the Dolphins will have to bring back with them to Miami. It will not be a boisterous plane ride back to the Miami area. 2 minutes left in the game. Patriots lead it 34-0. And Alan Clark on the slant across the 40-yard line. So Alan Clark seeing much action here in the fourth quarter, activated earlier this week. After missing several weeks because of a broken left thumb, Clark stopped by Don Besselou. Looking ahead for New England, next Sunday they will play at Baltimore. They have some important games coming up, and then in 2 weeks it'll be New England at Buffalo. Right now Buffalo is trailing Baltimore, so the Patriots and the Bills could end the day in a tie for the lead in the AFC East. And you saw the measurement, short of a first down. And here is Mike Hubach, who has had a sensational day, getting set to punt from his 25.
An interesting statistic, Marv, is that on every team can bounce back from a situation like this, and I'm sure Miami's going to bounce back. They'll be ready to play next week, and that's the sign of a professional football player when he doesn't allow this to continually haunt them all season long.
Tony Nathan is back deep and takes it at the 15. Across the 25, out to the 29-yard line. 46-yard punt by Hubach. Steve King in on the tackle. While we have the opportunity, I'd like to thank our statistician Bill George, our spotters George Sullivan, Ron Hobson, and our scorers Dick Gallagher, Tom Meager, for an excellent job here in the booth, able to do it despite the presence of Dave Rowe. Just kidding.
They're able to see around me is what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
I only weigh 220 now.
You would set an excellent screen on the basketball court. What, 6'7", 260?
Up.
All right, Nick Giaquino across the 30-yard line as we approach the 1 minute mark. Steve King and Larry McGrew combined on the tackle. As you see that clock running down, Minnesota now leads Chicago 6-0 in the third quarter. A couple of field goals by Rick Danmeyer, 35-37. This does not figure to be a rough week practice for the New England Patriots. Of course, that could be a problem, too, as they look to prepare for next week. Hard hit by Bob Golick. Terry Rubisky hammered on that reception out at the 35-yard line.
Ron Earhart knows this, that he has to prepare his team every week for a new opponent. So I doubt whether it'll be an easy practice this week as they go against Baltimore next week.
Well, at least the first couple of days.
Yeah, we can let them have a little rest.
And the crowd providing the Patriots with a standing ovation as time runs down, and Woodley unleashes and completes out at the 40-yard line. Giaquino with the final play of the game. That'll do it. So the New England Patriots nothing. We'll be back after these words. First time in some 10 years. Just an all-around impressive effort by New England. Patriot passing combining for 15 for 24, 220 yards between Grogan and Kavanaugh, and 2 touchdowns. And the Patriots now with an opportunity to end up the day in a tie for first in the AFC East. Marv Albert with Dave Rowe right now. Stay tuned for the exciting second half of our NFL doubleheader right after these messages from your local station.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. United brings more families together than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about.
This has been a presentation of NBC Sports. We're proud to bring you the best in sports television.
Half of football to come. Let's go back to the ball.
Thank you, Brian. And here in Foxborough at halftime, it's New England 17 and Miami nothing. And NFL 80 halftime activities will continue in a moment, right after these messages from your local station. Foxborough, Massachusetts, halftime. The New England Patriots leading the Miami Dolphins by the score of 17-0. To recap the scoring, it was a Ray Claiborne interception that set up the first three. Field goal by John Smith from 30 yards out. And then an interception by Steve Nelson, leading to this. Don Calhoun taking it home.
Don Calhoun just kicks it outside. He's got great speed and just around the corner. And they have to respect the inside running by the Patriots.
That made it 10-0 as Calhoun gives it the happy spike. 10-0 for New England. A 44-yard run by Vegas Ferguson led to the other 7 by New England. 6 minutes left, second quarter. It set up Steve Grogan and Harold Jackson. And the combination able to click as Grogan, who was a question mark earlier this week because of the sore knees, has obviously been very, very fine.
Steve Grogan has been very impressive the last 2 or 3 weeks with that knee. As we see, Harold Jackson was wide open here and just saw that goal line, dove in there for the score. So they've been very impressive. It
is a 33-yard pass play with Grogan connecting with Jackson. And at halftime, the Patriots leading the Dolphins 17-0. An excellent effort by the Patriot defensive unit. We started to talk about Hamilton, who has come up from his nose tackle position with 3 sacks in the first half. So he has already surpassed his entire sack total for the year, because coming in, Sugar Bear had 2.
Well, that's an excellent statistic for a nose man, because a nose man is blocked by the 2 guards besides the center. So it's awful hard for a nose tackle to get that many sacks. So it's just a tremendous compliment to the defense of the New England Patriots.
Dave, also of significance here today, we had a New England Patriot Club record as Mike Hubach was able to punt 69 yards, which is truly incredible.
The incredible thing also, Marv, was that it was into the wind. It was misjudged on the catch, but it was a fantastic punt. 69 yards, the longest punt in the Patriots' history.
So as we look to the second half, it's New England leading Miami by the score of 17-0. This 1980 National Football League game is brought to you by Dodge with the new 6-passenger Dodge Aries K and the new Ram Tough Dodge pickups and vans. By Erlanger, one look, one sip, one taste will tell you this beer is a classic. By United Airlines. United brings more friends and families together than any other airline. That's what friendly skies are all about. And by America's full-service bankers, ready to serve you where you see this symbol.
This is Bryant Gumbel in New York at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. The Bills have gotten on the board one more time before breaking for the half. Nick Mickemeyer from 50 yards out gives the Bills another 3 points. Looks like they're going to trail 17-9 as they break for the half. Let's go back to New England and Marvell.
80 times more than the number of miles I've ever run.
And we welcome you back to Foxborough Schaefer Stadium, sellout crowd. New England leading Miami by the score of 17-0. And right now, out at midfield, local marathon star Dave McGilvery is being honored for an unbelievable run. He concluded a 24-hour, 120-mile marathon throughout southeastern Massachusetts, concluding the run at halftime here at Schaefer Stadium. And he has been running to raise funds for the Rhythm State School. That is a local facility that working at. the New England sack success.
You would think with the points that the Dolphins have scored, 17 points, that their stats would be more impressive, but they only have 146 yards because they've been in Miami's territory all day long and haven't had to go over 30 or 40 yards for any one of their scores.
Steve Grogan 7 for 11, 102 yards, 1 touchdown. Strock 3 for 7, only 16 yards. David Woodley 2 for 11. So only 5 completions by the Miami Dolphins. Head coach Don Shula talking things over. There's Fargo Earhart, and a second-year head coach of the New England Patriots.
He is one of the true fun guys in the coaching ranks. He takes the game very serious, but he has a great sense of humor, as we witnessed last night in the hotel.
Rare to see an NFL coach smile or laugh, particularly day before game. All right, the kickoff by Van Schalen. Horace Ivory stopped by A.J. Dewey. So Horace Ivory, who has been out with a sprained left shoulder, averaging 30 yards per kick return, bringing it right across the 15-yard line, and the Patriots 1st and 10. They mark it at the 17.
What do you think about a defensive lineman, converted linebacker, getting down there first?
A.J. Dewey, a 4-year man out of LSU. Harold Jackson left, Stanley Morgan right. Vegas Ferguson, Don Calhoun, the running backs. And this is Ferguson, darting to the outside, to the 25. Right near that first down marker, run out by the strong safety, Don Vesalo.
Vegas Ferguson's ability to get outside has just been mystifying today. He dips back up into the line and gets outside, and that's something that backs rarely do in their first year. He has been very impressive. As you see his statistics there, 9 rushes for 73 yards. I think anyone would take that average.
And he came in averaging about 3 yards per carry. Last week against the Jets, only 40 yards, 14 carries. Of course, Matt Cavanaugh went to the air frequently in the second half. First down, and Calhoun is stopped. Back of the line of scrimmage, Petters, Baumhauer combined to make the stop. And a look at the nose tackle, Baumhauer, in his 4th year out of Alabama. Starter of the Pro Bowl last year. Leads the Dolphins in tackles. He is flanked by Doug Betters and Vern Den Herter. Linebackers, both Camper Chambers, Chambers, Dewey, and Gordon. 2nd and 9. And a first down picked up. Stanley Morgan. Check that, Harold Jackson on the reception.
Well, again, there was the incident of Harold Jackson, with respect to his speed, running Don McNeil so deep as Jackson turned out. The timing of Grogan and Jackson was just excellent on the play, and consequently, there's another first down or close to it.
Well, they will measure. The yardsticks are brought out.
I'll bet he makes it. Well, I think I was wrong in my first prediction. That's why I'm a defensive lineman.
Nice try, Dave. Dallas leading San Francisco 17-0 in the second quarter. Rayfield 70 and 26-yard field goal to extend that lead. Danny White hit Drew Pearson for 16. Ron Springs, 1-yard run. And Dallas in front of the 49ers. Now the Patriots go double tight end. Don Hasselbeck has come on to join Russ Francis. Mosi Tatupu in the Patriot backfield. It's a 3rd and less than a yard. That's Tatupu in motion. And the first down picked up by Calhoun.
Did you notice where they went that time, Mark? Right over John Hanna, number 73. John Hanna, as we were talking to their coaches, is probably the most respected guard in professional football. He has an excellent stance. They say no one can get a key off him or a tip. As a defensive lineman looks at him, he tries to pick up a key or a tip as to whether he's dropping back or coming forward. But John supposedly has the perfect stance all the time, the same.
John Hanna, 8th year out of Alabama. One of the great guards in the game. First down at the 38, and Calhoun gets the call. Don Calhoun picking up 4 on the play. It'll set up a 2nd and 6 with Dewey and Betters combining to make the stop up front for New England as we open up in this second half. White, Wheeler, and Shelby Jordan at the tackles. John Hanna and Bob Crichton at the guards, and Bill Lenkaitis back at center. 2nd and about 5, and Calhoun has picked up the first down and more down to the 46 in Miami territory.
There's another example, Marv, of how the score will dictate what the game is. No one can pick up a key on New England now. It was 2nd down and about 6 yards. Almost always an indication of a passing down. Miami played it as such. The draw play broke up, and that's when the draw is most effective, when you don't expect it.
Strong safety, Don Veselu making the stop. First down for New England at the Miami 46, 12.5 remaining third quarter. Patriots 17, Dolphins nothing. This is Morgan. Stanley Morgan to the 35, and another New England first down. He was ankle tackled by Larry Gordon, along with the free safety, Glenn Blackwood. And there's Stanley Morgan. And is 2nd in the AFC in reception yardage, leads in average yards per catch. He is averaging 31 yards per reception. Cincinnati leading Pittsburgh in the third, 17-6. Russell Davis 1-yard run for the Bengals, and the extra point try was blocked. Vegas Ferguson. Penalties here this afternoon. Coming in, the feeling was could be a fast-moving game because the Dolphins are the least penalized team in the NFL, and the Patriots the 2nd least penalized, but that has not been the case. Here's the referee, Bob Frederick.
Offensive holding, number 67, first down.
Well, it's the dentist, Bill Lenkaitis, called for the hold.
My former teammate at Penn State. He went on to greatness. He certainly did. He's a doctor here, and they have a little section of the stands, Dr. Link's section of the stands. So he's really very, very popular here in New England.
Are dentists allowed to advertise? Of course, attorneys can now. 1st and 20 for New England. And Grogan puts it up for Jackson. And he's got it. Harold Jackson. First down inside the 15. Chased by Bocapper and McNeil.
That was a whale of a throw. I'll tell you, that was probably the finest throw I've seen Steve Grogan make in the several games that we've done. He was well covered. Harold Jackson was well covered. The ball was thrown right in there, right on the money. You can see Grogan here as he leads him. Harold Jackson's just an excellent throw. Well thrown ball. There's just no way you can defend against that.
31-yard pass play and a first down for the Patriots. Down at the 14-yard line. Second back coming through. Vegas Ferguson able to take a hard hit and still pick up yardage inside the 10.
You see why he's been so impressive, Marv. He's able to keep his feet. He was hit in the backfield early by Vern Denherter, hit him in the backfield, spun around, kept his balance, and picked up 4 or 5 yards. This is when the New England Patriots can really put the pressure on you because they've got the team that they had in 1978 with a running game when they led the National Football League. This was one of the things that their head coach, Ron Earhart, wanted to get back to, the 78 season when they led the NFL.
2nd and 5 inside the 10. It's Morgan left, Jackson right. And Jackson in motion. Grogan looking that way. And it's intercepted. Don Veselu, the strong safety, picking it off to stop the Patriot drive. So a key intercept by Veselu. And Miami will take over. 10:42 remaining third quarter. The score, New England 17 and Miami nothing.
NBC brought it to television first. The spectacular plays, the memorable moments. The World Series is back where it belongs beginning Tuesday on NBC.
All right, here's the interception by Don Besselo. He's the man who replaced Tim Foley after Foley went out after undergoing knee surgery. Comes up with his first intercept of the season.
Look who makes the tackle there, Steve Grogan. Boy, he's a tough player. He's very, very durable. I think I know he has the leading string of consecutive starts for a quarterback. And I would never count the Miami Dolphins out. They are a deep winning tradition.
This is Grogan's 72nd backfield for Miami. Terry Robisky by inside linebacker John Zamberlin. 3-yard. And about a bit. Miami in possession following the Besselo intercept of Steve Grogan. This is Williams going outside and picks up the first down. Now that's the most impressive series we've seen for the Dolphins.
There's some excellent blocking on that series right there. Ed Newman got a great block as it was a trap play, and he just cut underneath, and that was, as you said, that's the best series that we've seen for the Miami Dolphins. They're starting to come alive. As I said, never count out the Miami Dolphins.
Delvin Williams, who had minus yardage coming into this second half, able to move into the plus category. First down for Miami. And Woodley swings it. Williams, 25-yard line. And pushed out at the 29 by Roland Shane. And we have received word that Strock suffered a slight concussion. He will not return. It is all in the hands of David Woodley.
Well, we had indicated that it was a hit high up in the head, and we were hopefully under the impression that he'd just gotten the wind knocked out, but evidently it was a little more serious than that. Miami certainly is in a tough position with only having one quarterback capable to play.
Bob Greasy said to be not available because of the shoulder problem. 2nd and 7. Tight end Hardy moving over to the left side as they line up in the I. Williams following Robisky. Delvin out to cross the 35-yard line. Close to the first down marker. John Zamberlin with the submarine tackle on Delvin Williams, the only running back in the history of the National Football League to set single-season rushing records for 2 different teams, San Francisco and Miami. He has had a tough day thus far today, and they will measure as Williams brought it close to the first down marker. 6 minutes gone by, 3rd quarter, and it's New England 17 and Miami nothing. And as you can see, it is a first down picked up by the Dolphins. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
WBZ TV, Channel 4, Boston.
Burrow sellout crowd on hand. Big game for the Patriots. They look to go 5 up and 1 down, particularly with Buffalo having its troubles today with Baltimore. They could conclude the day in a tie for first in the AFC East. Robisky driven back by Steve Nelson. This is only the 2nd game association with you, did it, Bill?
I don't know. I've been very famous for that.
2nd and 10, no gain for Robisky. Tony Nathan and Nick Giaquino have come on now. And this is Nathan. And just a short pickup. John Zamberlin, right inside linebacker, was right there. So in the previous series, the Dolphins looking impressive offensively for the first time, and were really stretching to point at a couple of plays, couple of running plays. That's been it. But once again, Miami in trouble. It's a 3rd and 9 back at their 38. They go double tight end. Joe Rose has come out, and now Bruce Hardy departs. So Rose in at the tight end position. And more to the right, Duriel Harris up top. Big rush on Woodley, able to unleash, underthrew, had his arm hit as he uncorked the throw. The intended receiver was Matt Moore, and 78 Tony McGee, the 10-year veteran out of Bishop, was all over the quarterback, David Woodley.
They certainly are appreciating the defense here as the crowd gives them a standing ovation every time they come off the field. That time as David Woodley dropped back to pass, he was in a very, very dangerous position as a quarterback to allow someone to hit his arm as he passes. I've seen several quarterbacks over the years that have ended their careers with that similar type of a hit.
George Roberts back at his 22. Here's Mike Haynes awaiting the punt. And he is back at the New England 22-yard line. 7:15 left, third quarter. Good hang time by Roberts. And Haynes let it fly, taking a New England hop. And a flag or cap thrown down that may have been just to indicate where the ball is spotted. That's what it was at the 15-yard line. A 45-yard punt by Roberts. And when we resume, the Patriots will take over. Now they spot it at the 19. Well, the crowd here in Foxborough, a sellout crowd, really enjoying what they have seen thus far today. The Patriots on top 17-0. And it's New England ball, 1st and 10 at their 19-yard line following the punt by George Roberts. Vegas Ferguson hit in the backfield. Doug Betters, the right defensive end, with a good move. And Betters trying to spark up the Dolphin defensive unit. The last time the Miami Dolphins were shut out was 10 years ago. Back in 1970. In fact, Dave, they were shut out back-to-back by Baltimore and Cleveland.
It certainly shows the powers that the Miami Dolphins have had over the years with the Larry Zonkas and the Bob Griesys and Warfields and several other players. They've been a very dominant team in the American Conference.
6.5 remaining, third quarter. Still lots of time remaining. Second down, about 13. Intended for Vegas Ferguson. And then we'll set up a third down play for Grogan. A.J. Dewey was covering the intended receiver, Ferguson.
Steve Grogan has taken a couple hits this time, and I'm really surprised that they haven't brought Matt Cavanaugh in at this time, because they do have a commanding lead. But I guess Steve Grogan, being a durable quarterback, as you alluded to, 71 or 72 straight starts, the longest of any quarterback in the league. Very, very durable person. As I played against him over the years, I was amazed at how durable he was. As we look at Matt Cavanaugh right there, number 12, he certainly was impressive last week.
9 for 15 to lead the Patriots against the New York Jets. Right, here's 3rd and long for Grogan. Fires the middle through to a crowd and able to complete for a first down to the tight end, Russ Francis. Len Blackwood defending on the play, a 20-yard hookup between Grogan and Francis.
There is the tight end in the National Football League. Everyone compares their tight ends to Russ Francis, whether it be a college tight end or a prospect. Everyone compares it to Russ Francis. He's got great speed, tremendous hands, and is the premier tight end in the league.
Only injuries have held him back. He has really been hard hit. That's his second reception of the day. First out at the 36. Calhoun dancing for short yardage. Don Calhoun, the man who took over at fullback, one with the long holdout by Sam Cunningham, and Calhoun has really filled the bill. In a 7th year out of Kansas State, has had an excellent season. He is 4th in rushing in the AFC. He's averaging over 4 per carry. 2nd and 9 at the 37. Had a mix-up for a moment. Grogan hit hard as he gets it away, and he's intercepted again. This is Don McNeil, and he's taken down by Vegas Ferguson. So earlier this third quarter, Don Besselo picked one off, and now McNeil with his 2nd of the day and 3rd on the year.
What a play by Don McNeil. You can see him coming all the way across the field here. That's why they have such great expectations for him. Excellent catch. He gets up, and he's trying to make some yardage to spark the Miami Dolphins back. The defense has been on the field an awful long time today, and this time is usually about the time in a game when the defense becomes discouraged because the offense has not been able to get them a score. So perhaps this will spark up the offense and, again, spark up the defense.
And it's the 3rd time that Steve Grogan has been intercepted this afternoon. Just under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And the Dolphins will take over at their 40-yard line. They are trailing 17-0. David Woodley, and at quarterback, it is his ball game the rest of the way. Don Struck suffering a mild concussion. He is through for the afternoon, and Bob Greasy is not available because of the shoulder problem. Eagles looking to come back now, trail the Giants 16-10 in the third quarter. Louis Giamona, 1-yard run for Philadelphia to close within 6. First down at the 40. Elvin Williams. Pick up 4 on the play. Larry McGrew, Steve Nelson, a couple of linebackers combining to make the stop.
I'm really surprised that Miami is running the ball as much as they are. I can't understand why they are. They're 17 points down with a little over 4.5 minutes left in this quarter, and they've got to get on the scoreboard. They have not been able to run against them consistently all day, and I'm surprised that they haven't gone more to the pass.
Bob Greasy looking on, and he is out of action because of the shoulder problem suffered last week in the fourth quarter against Baltimore. A deep drop, and the swing pass. This is Trubisky, and not able to pick up much yardage because of that deep drop. Nelson, Zamberlin combined to make the stop. So Woodley is now 4 for 14. Now Dallas over San Francisco 24-7 in the second. Steve DeBerg combining with Dwight Clark on a 52-yard pass play. Los Angeles in front of St. Louis. Cardinals have come on the last couple of weeks. Ferragamo, the NFL's top-rated passer. And Willie Miller, 9-yard pass play. Rams 7, Cardinals nothing. 3rd and 4 for Woodley. And he completes, but short of the first down. It's Joe Rose hit by Larry McGrew. So McGrew able to keep Rose out of the first down territory, and again a hand for the Patriots defensive unit.
Again, we can see what the pressure is doing to David Woodley. He doesn't have time to get downfield now with the game being so far back, them being 17 points back. He just doesn't have the time to sit back there and pick up his primary receivers. So consequently, he's dumping off to the backs and the undercover men.
Busy day for George Roberts. This is 8th punt of the day. The rookie out of Tennessee, Roland James, breaking through. James to the 44. A burst by James, and the punter, George Roberts, was forced to make the stop. So the Patriots will take over with 2 minutes, 46 seconds left in this third quarter.
On NBC Sports World, see the Michael Spinks Yaki Lopez Slugfest, the world's top bowlers in the Legends of Bowling, plus a World Series update Saturday.
Well, all the spectacular plays, the memorable moments, the World Series back where it belongs. This Tuesday, October the 14th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on NBC. Marv Albert, Dave Rowe from Foxborough, Massachusetts. I think they realize they're on television, Dave.
They sure look happy. Not when I played here, they weren't like that.
You were booed through downtown Foxborough as we came to the stadium. I felt bad for you. Here's Vegas Ferguson out to midfield. Larry Gordon, right side linebacker, making the stop.
A couple of those years I played here with New England, I had to sneak down and buy gas.
Cincinnati now leading Pittsburgh 17-16, and the Steelers making a move. 35-yard field goal by Matt Barr. Closing within 1. Earlier, Terry Bradshaw to Jim Smith, 13-yard pass play. So Pittsburgh and Cincinnati in another wild ball game. Calhoun. Don Calhoun to the 47 in Miami territory. Gordon and Bauhauer combined to make the stop. You were with the Patriots what years?
I was here in 1971, 72, and 73. And Chuck Fairbanks said the best thing that happened to the Patriots was when I left and went to San Diego. They started winning.
You know, there have been a lot of folks who have been saying that at various clubs. Now, actually, you had some big years with Oakland, member of the 1977 Super Bowl champion, Oakland Raiders. Minute and a half left, third quarter. It's a 3rd and 2. And it's Ferguson, short of the first down.
was a great play, or a good play, by the Miami Dolphins. They stopped them at the point of attack. They didn't allow the first down to be picked up. Consequently, they brought the ball in here, and it's going to give Miami the ball back. But they have got to come out equally so on offense and establish something, whether it be through the run or pass, but primarily the pass, because they're 17 points down, as we continually say.
The crowd always reacts. They want to see their club go for it, but not the smart move. And Huboch has come on to punt from his 40-yard line and gets off another good one. Huboch, who earlier kicked 69 yards, this time it carries to the end zone, so they bring it out to the 20-yard line. Earlier, Huboch set a New England Patriot Club record with a sensational 69-yard punt. And this one not bad, carries 46 yards, and when we return, it will be Miami first and 10 at the 20. And with 46 seconds left in this third quarter, Miami taking over following the 46-yard punt by Mike Huboch. The last time the Patriots came up with a shutout, 1977, 31-0 against the Seahawks of Seattle. Quarterback is David Woodley. Off the play action with Williams. And Moore not able to hang on. He was hit hard by the left corner, Raymond Claiborne.
Nat Moore certainly has come up with an awful lot of great catches over the years, but this one here was in his hands, but he took a good shot from Raymond Claiborne and lost the handle on it. But it was a pass that usually Nat Moore will come down with.
And it is a 2nd and 10. Miami with Kuchenberg and Luxo at the tackles, Newman and Little at the guards, Dennard the center, the running backs Williams and Robisky. And here is Woodley looking deep, and it's picked up. Roland James, the rookie from Tennessee. Stopped by the tight end, Bruce Hardy. And the Patriots get it right back. That pass intended for Terry Robisky. 14-yard return by James.
Well, again, David Woodley just floated the ball out there. He's throwing it up, hoping that we can get something here for him. And Roland James came across. They're playing zone coverage at the time, and all they're doing is playing the ball. And Roland James came up with an interception.
And for Roland James, his first interception in the National Football League. And here is Matt Cavanaugh taking over for Steve Grogan with 29 seconds left. Third quarter, Matt coming off the very impressive second half against the Jets. Ferguson. And pushed out at the 37-yard line by Gerald Small, the right cornerback who is playing, although ailing with a hip pointer suffered a couple of weeks ago.
The one thing that New England Patriots want to do here, obviously they want to run down the clock. But as they go into this play right here, they don't want to embarrass the Miami Dolphins. Not that they will, but they still have to play Miami, and Miami, as we said, is a great football team.
And there you see the Eagles overtaking the Giants on a 19-yard run by Harrington. Horace Ivory, rather Chuck Foreman on the carry. With Bob Baumhauer making the stop.
You talked about the last time that Miami and New England had a shutout. I played in that game. It was in Miami in 1972, and they beat us 52-0. And believe it or not, I was the defensive player of the game.
Dave, we believe it. You stand for credibility. And you see Bob Baumhauer, the nose tackle, moving to the sidelines. 12 seconds left, third quarter. Patriots 17, Dolphins nothing, and a 3rd and 8. Coming up now, the clock is running down, and that will do it for this third quarter. So at the end of 3, the score, Patriots 17, Dolphins nothing. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. The hamlet of Foxborough, Massachusetts. One-time hometown of Dave Rowe. And a capacity crowd has come out for the Patriots and the Dolphins as we head to the fourth quarter. And New England up by the score of 17-0, 3rd and 8 as we pick it up at the Miami 36. And here is Matt Cavanaugh, who just came on looking for Russ Francis, and it's broken up. However, penalty knocking down. Here's the free safety, Glenn Blackwood, covering on the play, and a bit too aggressively.
Well, Glenn Blackwood just about had to climb up Russ Francis that time. There's quite a height difference there. Glenn has been very, very successful.
Defensive pass interference, number 48.
Miami Dolphins, but that time he bumped into Russ Francis, who's a great target there. You can see right there Glenn Blackwood going over top of his back. And Russ Francis, it was a well-thrown ball, too.
So New England off the interference call, first down at the Miami 13-yard line. Foreman and Ferguson are now the running backs. Chuck Foreman, good second effort, but the Dolphins all over him, led by Larry Gordon. Foreman had a tremendous one-handed catch last week against the New York Jets. Look at those third quarter statistics. The Dolphins +1 passing. That's been it. +1.
There's not much you can say about that, Marv. I don't care who you are.
They were in the minus department earlier. Obviously, it has been all New England. And Cavanaugh had some time. Incomplete. Intended for Harold Jackson, covered by Gerald Small.
You know, Miami has been in this situation before over the years, Marv. And as we've said, they have already come back from deficits like this in the fourth quarter.
However, they've done it with a fellow by the name of Bob Greasy. And it would, yes, it would take quite a miraculous turnaround. David Woodley would have to do a complete about-face. Miami has been an excellent fourth quarter team this season. They've scored 55 points in the fourth quarter. You look at Greasy, who is not available for today because of a shoulder injury. Miami had scored 2/3 of their season's points in the fourth quarter, with several come from behind victory. Russ Francis goes over as Cavanaugh was hammered and was able to get it away. A 12-yard touchdown pass, and Francis shaken up as he was clobbered by Don McNeil, the left corner.
Russ Francis on that play looked like one of those fellas running for that baseball in the World Series next week, as he took a whale of a shot as he went in the end zone. You can see here he's under an awful lot of pressure here and just lays it up, and the ball is well thrown. Francis makes a great catch. One hand, you can see the shot he takes coming into the end zone. Takes a shot by, again, Don McNeil, who is playing a good football game.
So Russ Francis, who is playing with bruised ribs, wearing a flak jacket, able to come up with his first touchdown reception of the season. And John Smith, who has been perfect, will look to make it 24-0. And he does. Russ Francis, 3 receptions, 34 yards, including the 12-yard touchdown play. And we're a minute in, fourth quarter, and New England now leading Miami 24-0. Just a moment ago, 12-yard touchdown pass play at Cavanaugh, who came on for Steve Grogan, converting as Russ Francis hauled it down, although he took a hard hit. So 5 plays, 38 yards, and it's 24-0 Patriots. The kickoff by Mike Hubach. This is Don Besselo. Out to the 10, 20, and a hard hit up near the 25-yard line. Don Besselo was really popped. Bill Matthews, Alan Clark combining on the hit.
Well, a game like this, you're trying to get everything you can. Don Besselo coming up there, and he just puts his head down, and he goes in there and takes a whale of a shot. You can see him get bent over. But, again, he's trying to come up with an effort. Everyone, and when you're losing like this, everyone tries to play harder.
And Besselo was really snowed under. Steve King, Bob Golick, all involved. 1st and 10 for Miami. Out at the 25-yard line. The quarterback, the rookie from LSU, David Woodley. Off the play action for Nathan. Goes sideline. And incomplete. Intended for Elmer Bailey, a rookie from the University of Minnesota, who was dropped by Miami and then re-signed just last week. Ray Claiborne covering on the play, and it will be a 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
I guess the interesting thing here now is, Marv, are the New England Patriots this good a football team, or is Miami just having that much difficulty?
Of course, in past years, Patriots have looked very impressive during the course of the regular season and always seem to fall short. That's the question this year. What will happen as we get down to those final weeks and into the playoffs? Woodley lurking deep and then throws upfield, overthrows Joe Rose. Rod Schoop covering on the play.
Well, Woodley has continually been under a lot of pressure, this time by Richard Bishop, number 64. So he's having a difficult time, and as we had alluded to before, it is a learning experience for him right now. He's the quarterback, so to speak. He, along with Don Strock, are the future of the Miami Dolphins.
Nick Giacquino back in the lineup along with Delvin Williams. Woodley is now 5 for 19 for only 12 yards and intercepted once. Woodley off the roll and underthrows. Mike Haynes covering on the play. Again, Bailey, the intended receiver, and it's a quickie series for the Miami Dolphins. And once again, a big hand for the New England defensive unit. George Roberts will come on to punt for the 9th time this afternoon. He has averaged 45 yards. Mike Haynes dropping back deep. .38 left, 4th quarter. And New England with a 24-0 lead on Miami. High snap. And Roberts with another good kick. He has been one of the few bright spots for Miami. Here's Haynes, 40-yard line. Out to the 44. And the Patriots will go to work. Matt Cavanaugh coming on. 50-yard punt by Roberts. 19-yard return. And we'll be back in a moment. I mentioned the punt by George Roberts, the 9th of the day by Miami. Their all-time club record is 10, set back in '66. So the Dolphins with several club records on the line, but not the kind of records that they would like to set, all in a negative vein as they trail 24-0. Here is Cavanaugh throwing on. First down has got Russ Francis for another Patriot first down. So Francis with his 4th reception of the day.
New England Patriots are really this good. I've got 2 friends, and when I played here, Normie Bolduc over in Plymouth and Bob Allen, that are going to buy playoff tickets. You can see Cavanaugh sets up here, no pressure at all. Russ Francis, the imposing target right there. They were too deep on coverage, and they just cannot handle the New England Patriots today. It's very obvious.
The strong safety, Don Besselo, made the stop. And now Rod Earhart looking to do some shuffling. He has Alan Clark and Chuck Foreman in the backfield. Obviously does not want to run up the score. This is Clark, and cuts back to the 35-yard line. Stopped by A.J. Dewey. Alan Clark activated this week. He had a broken left thumb. Voted Patriots Rookie of the Year last season. He is in his 2nd year out of Northern Arizona. Rookie wide receiver and return man Preston Brown was placed on the injured reserve list also because of a broken thumb, and thus Clark was reactivated. 2nd and 7. Cavanaugh goes sideline, and he's got a first down with Stanley Morgan.
Right now, the Miami Dolphins are overcompensating, not trying to allow the score, and Don McNeil played a little bit too deep that time, and he was unable to come up. Again, respecting the speed of Stanley Morgan. He runs probably a 4.3 40-yard dash, so he has to respect that and play off, and consequently they're just ticking off the yardage, 10-15 yards at a clip. Of course, if the score was a little bit different, I'm sure the coverage would be a little bit different.
No question, Cavanaugh in a perfect situation. He's now 3 for 4, 41 yards, including a touchdown with The tight end, Russ Francis. First down at the 22. And this is Foreman looking to pull away as he gets inside the 20-yard line. Rusty Chambers there to make the stop. So Chuck Foreman seeing additional action here this afternoon. He had carried only 8 times for 31 yards prior to today. Here's an update. Giants Stadium. The Eagles now lead the Giants 24-6. Touchdown of the day for the Eagles, 3-yard.
Your defensive statistics. As a defensive player, everybody looks at where they rank. All the players look at where they rank amongst the NFL, and they're certainly going to rank high after this game.
Foreman stopped by Dewey and Bessel, and they will measure it as close to a first down. Dave, coming in New England, ranked 3rd best offensively in the AFC. And as you see, the Patriots do pick it up. And this club #1 in rushing going in, while Miami 12th defensively. And that has been their tough problem among many, particularly in the secondary. Dallas over San Francisco now 38-7. A Tony Dorsett 2-yard run. Danny White to Drew Pearson for 17. And they're only in the second quarter. First down, Kavanaugh throws again. Intended for Morgan, but batted down. Stanley Morgan saw a sure 6, but Kim Bocamper, number 58, was able to keep it away.
Well, again, Mark, we have to give credit to the New England Patriots team. They have an excellent front line and certainly has dominated the game. But the statistics of the Miami Dolphins have been so hindered because their defense has been on the field all the time.
In that Ram Cardinal game, Ferragamo has thrown for 1 and run 1 in from 4 yards out. 2nd and 10 at the 12. Chuck Foreman hit down at the 10. That'll set up 3rd and 8. Again, it's Bocamper on the stop.
Don't you know Chuck Foreman is really excited about being on this team? We can see Chuck Foreman, number 22. This is the old Chuck Foreman. He used to break outside, one of the premier backs over the years, and he's excited about being here with the New England Patriots. It's a new lease on him. It was I know exactly what he feels, because when I went with the Oakland Raiders, it was a similar situation for me, and he feels new life, and he certainly has been a real plus for this team.
Andy Johnson has come on now in that Patriot backfield. And the Patriots have called for time. You see Matt Kavanaugh over to talk to Ron Earhart. 10 minutes, 16 seconds left, 4th quarter. New England with a 24-0 lead on Miami as the Patriots look to go 5-1. Beat the Jets at Shea Stadium in New York last week for their 3rd straight win. Patriots beat Denver, Seattle, and Cleveland. The only loss here in Foxborough in that surprise, losing to Atlanta. With the timeout, we'll pause for these words.
NBC brought it to television first. The spectacular plays, the memorable moments. The World Series is back where it belongs, beginning Tuesday on NBC.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for these Miami Dolphins, because next Sunday, Miami will be home for Buffalo, although Buffalo having its difficulties this afternoon. They're trailing Baltimore 17-9 in the 4th quarter. And Kavanaugh actually tripped himself up, stumbled. Larry Gordon covering up on the play off that 3rd and 8. And John Smith will come on. Smith is 1 for 2 this afternoon. He did hit from 30 yards out in the 1st quarter.
John Smith told me that he dislocated his shoulder on a kickoff, and that's why he doesn't do it any longer. I couldn't believe that he was down there making a tackle, but he was real proud of that dislocation.
He's tough. 36-yard attempt off the high snap. And he puts it right through. So Smith now 2 for 3 on the day. And he is 10 for 12 on the season. 9:45 left, 4th quarter. New England 27, Miami nothing. Well, there's a man that has to reevaluate his ball club as he looks the rest of the way. Miami following today, unless there is a miracle here in the fourth quarter, on its way to a 3-3 record. And Buffalo upcoming next week. Don Besselo on the return, and Besselo able to break out across the 35-yard line. Steve McMichael, backup defensive lineman, makes the stop. All the spectacular plays and the memorable moments. The World Series is back where it belongs. This Tuesday, October the 14th, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, you'll see the Kansas City Royals go against the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 1. That's Tuesday night here on NBC Sports. I should say the Phillies or the Houston Astros. That was an Albert prediction and got the best of me. I did pick the Phillies in 5. Here's Woodley throwing the middle, and it is complete. Bob Golick, first-year pro out of Notre Dame, with the hard hit on Tony Nathan. So 5-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the 42.
Miami, as you said, Marv, certainly has to reevaluate their team, whether to go with younger players or not.
Patriots now with a 306-62 edge in total offense. It has been a TKO here by the New England Patriots. And it's picked off. Ray Claiborne, second interception of the afternoon. Elmer Bailey had it deflect off his chest.
Well, that certainly wasn't David Woodley's fault. The last 2 or 3 passes have not been clean caught balls. The one prior to that wasn't clear, and this one here wasn't either. That's a ball that should be caught right there. And of course we see it go over top of his head. Raymond Claiborne, he certainly knows, a 4th-year player, he certainly knows what to do with it. Everybody loves to carry a ball though, Marv.
So New England taking over. 43-yard line. 1st and 10, 8:48 left in this 4th quarter. Second time that Woodley has been picked off. A long afternoon for the young man out of LSU. Alan Clark seeing action here in the 4th quarter. Good second effort out near the 40-yard line. Clark, the 2nd-year man out of Northern Arizona. He and Mosi Tatupu now in the backfield for the Patriots. Doug Betters, right defensive end, making the stop. 3-yard advance, 2nd and 7 at the Miami 40-yard line. So Ron Earhart getting an opportunity to take a long look at a lot of people here in the 4th quarter. Don Westbrook, 4-year man of Nebraska, has come on for Harold Jackson. Thomas Pennywell in there for Stanley Morgan. And once again, Alan Clark again. Good acceleration to the 35-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd and 2. Clark stopped by Rusty Chambers.
As New England drives for their division, whether they be in the division final or not, as they do drive for a division title, you need a lot of experience for these second-string players to back up players. And in a game like this, regardless of what the score is, it is really important for these players to get in and get playing time in case of an injury or something like that could happen to them. So I'm sure Ron Earhart appreciates that.
Here's the 3rd and 2. And it is Clark hurdling over for the 1st down. On the line for the Miami Dolphins, facing their first shutout in some 10 years. They were blanked back-to-back back in 1970. Well, the Eagles have certainly taken charge after that early Giant lead. Giants led by 16-3 in the 2nd quarter. It is now 31-16. Philly, Jaworski, and Keith Greffley, 6-yard pass play to up that score to 31-16 with 7.5 left in the 4th quarter. New England 1st down at the 33, and it's Tatupu. Mosi Tatupu, T-A-T-U-P-U, in his 3rd year out of the University of Southern California. Some good running by Tatupu preserved a victory over Seattle earlier this season. Larry Gordon making the stop.
I sat in a jacuzzi last night with them at the hotel, and they certainly were relaxed, and their atmosphere was really, I'll tell you, I really think they've got it together this year. We were at the hotel and we were having a good time as I kind of reminisced with all the old players.
Wait a second. You sat in a jacuzzi?
Yeah. The water level went up, though.
All right, here is Tatupu again. That is really throwing names. You sat in a jacuzzi with the New England Patriots.
That's right.
That's how you did your studying.
Well, I sat there and asked them if they had anything tricky they were going to use today.
All right, Betters, Chambers, and Gordon made the stop. All right, here's a little trivia for you folks. What did these NFL head coaches have in common? And it's a long list.
I know exactly what they had in common.
Let's hold on that, Dave. And we'll provide the answer in a moment. 3rd and 4. As Kavanaugh goes sideline. Carlos Pennywell, 3-year man out of Grambling, picking up the first down. Ed Taylor covering on the play. Here's the answer now. They all coached Dave Rowe in his 13-year NFL career, and you may notice not one is still in the National Football League.
I resemble that remark, Mark. That just proves if you play long enough, you're going to play around a lot of guys.
Dave, there's no need to explain.
Oh, well.
First out at the 21, 5:19 left, 4th quarter. And the Patriots lead the Dolphins 27-0. Alan Clark not able to make the turn and really spun out by Kim Bocamper.
I'm really surprised at Alan Clark coming in here. Well, I'm not really surprised, but I love to see a player come in. He just got activated. He's playing with a lot of emotion. I've been watching his actions as he's gotten up, and he's excited about being out there and having a chance to play. I think anyone at this time would be excited about playing for the New England Patriots. As we've indicated, they seem like the dominant team, them along with Buffalo, and of course, Baltimore has made a late resurgence in this conference.
Things continue the way they have. The Patriots will end the day in a tie for first in the AFC East with Buffalo if Baltimore able to maintain the lead. Here's the 2nd and 4 down at the 15. And Kavanaugh keeping it on the ground. Tatupu for a couple inside the 15. Larry Gordon making the stop. Notice Don Shula has stayed with his starters in the along the linebacker core, and matter of fact up front not lifting anyone, and it's awfully tough out there right now.
It is an awful tough situation for Miami to be in. I'll tell you, they're a team with pride, and any professional football player's got pride, and some of those fellas don't want to come out of there in this situation.
Or it could be punishment. Several ways to look at it. Clark on the sweep. Clark, first touchdown of the season. He was the key man on this Patriot drive. Matt Kavanaugh just looking to keep it on the ground, and the Patriots take it in.
What a lead block by Bob Kreider, number 75 here. I don't know if he comes into the picture, but it was just an excellent block there. He's from Alabama, a young man, and he's backing up. He's in his 3rd year backing up Sam Adams, and he's having a good day today as New England continues the running game, the running domination over the Miami Dolphins.
15-yard run by Alan Clark. 33-0 Patriots. And here's John Smith. Kavanaugh did well to put that high snap down. And the New England Patriots now lead the Miami Dolphins 34-0 with 4:26 left in this 4th quarter. Well, in Buffalo, the Baltimore Colts now lead the Buffalo Bills 17-12. Nick Nickemeyer, 21-yard field goal with 5:53 left in the 4th quarter. Earlier, he kicked one from 49, and it's now Baltimore 17 and Buffalo 12. This is Bessalou out to the 20, and a hard hit once again, this time Tatupu. So Gino Cappelletti's special teams have looked very impressive. They have not let up despite the score.
An interesting statistic or I should say situation. New England uses 3 #1 draft choices on their kickoff return. So that shows the enthusiasm that Gino Cappelletti has got on those special teams.
Miami first down at their 20-yard line. It has been an embarrassing afternoon for the Dolphins. Their combined passing now between Strunk and Woodley, 9 for 29, only 33 yards, 4 interceptions. Nathan and Trubisky in at running back, and this is the swing. Tony Nathan. Out at the 30-yard line, Larry McGrew, the rookie out of USC, able to make the stop. 4 minutes left in the ball game, and the Patriots up by the score of 34-0. Miami with a rare first down out at the 30-yard line. A reminder coming up following Miami and New England. More NFL action. The second half of today's doubleheader featuring the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders, the Jets in Atlanta, the Browns and the Seahawks. Right here on NBC Sports. David Woodley hit down. Larry McGrew. Sack number 5 for the Patriots, and that matches the total last week against the New York Jets.
Well, Woodley never sees Larry McGrew come in here, and you know that's a thrill for Larry McGrew to get in there. He doesn't get into play that much playing behind Rod Schote. But when he came in, he did something, and those things are noticed by the coaches. And boy, it's an enjoyable time for the New England Patriots. And as you said, a rough time for Miami.
First sack of the NFL career for Larry McGrew, second-round draft pick out of University of Southern Cal. And Woodley throws the middle incomplete, intended for Elmer Bailey. The rookie out of Minnesota, Rick Sanford, covering on the play. At Tampa Bay, the Bucks and the Packers now tied at 14. And they are late fourth quarter. Doug Williams scoring on a 5-yard run to tie it up. Green Bay 14, Tampa Bay 14. That's a matchup of two and 3 ball clubs. Third down and 20 with 3.5 left. It has been all New England right from the start. The statistical differential has been overwhelming. Way short of a first down as Hardy was able to catch it in front of McGrew, who gave him the short yardage. So here's George Roberts, and he is about to tie a Miami Dolphins club record, which is a record that Don Shula will not be talking about as he comes out of punt for the 10th time this afternoon. Roberts averaging 46 per punt. Mike Haynes dropping back deep. Roberts back near his 10. He is a 3-year man out of Virginia Tech. And Mike Haynes awaits the punt back at the 30-yard line. Art Haynes with the fair catch. And the Patriots will put it in play right up the 30-yard line. A 42-yard punt by Roberts. This Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, it'll be Games People Play, and you'll see the World Cannonball Championship, Soupy Sales, and custard pie throwing. All this and more Thursday, Games People Play, here on NBC. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the game. It's a Patriot rout. They lead it 34-0. They stay with Kavanaugh at quarterback, Clark and Foreman are the running backs. And Chuck Foreman finding a hole on the right side. Hit by the host of Miami Dolphins as Foreman brings out to the 35-yard line. It will set up 2nd and 6.
You have to admire Ron Earhart in this situation. He's content to keep the ball on the ground, as he did last series. They're certainly not trying to run up the score on the Miami Dolphins. There's too much respect between the two coaching staffs to do that. They kept the ball entirely on the ground last series, and I'm sure that they'll do it this series also.
Pennywell is left and Westbrook right. And again, it's Foreman for a short advance as we approach the 2-minute mark. And there's the whistle. So now 2 minutes left in the game, and the New England Patriots out in front of the Miami Dolphins 34-0. We'll be back after these messages. And for the Miami Dolphins, 75 yards represents their lowest total offense in a single game. A string of negative statistics that the Dolphins will have to bring back with them to Miami. It will not be a boisterous plane ride back to the Miami area. 2 minutes left in the game. Patriots lead at 34-0. And Alan Clark on the slant across the 40-yard line. So Alan Clark seeing much action here in the fourth quarter, activated earlier this week. After missing several weeks because of a broken left thumb, Clark stopped by Don Besseloot. Looking ahead for New England, next Sunday they will play at Baltimore. They have some important games coming up, and then in 2 weeks it'll be New England at Buffalo. Right now Buffalo is trailing Baltimore, so the Patriots and the Bills could end the day in a tie for the lead in the AFC East. And you saw the measurement. Short of a first down. And here is Mike Hubach, who has had a sensational day, getting set to punt from his 25.
An interesting statistic, Marv, is that every team can bounce back from a situation like this, and I'm sure Miami's going to bounce back. They'll be ready to play next week, and that's the sign of a professional football player when he doesn't allow this to continually haunt them all season long.
Tony Nathan is back deep and takes it at the 15. Across the 25, out to the 29-yard line. 46-yard punt by Hubach. Steve King in on the tackle. While we have the opportunity, I'd like to thank our statistician Bill George, our spotters George Sullivan, Ron Hobson, and our scorers Dick Gallagher, Tom Meager, for an excellent job here in the booth, able to do it despite the presence of Dave Rowe. Just kidding.
They're able to see around me is what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
I only weigh 220 now.
You would set an excellent screen on the basketball court. What, 6'7", 260?
Up.
All right, Nick Giaquino across the 30-yard line as we approach the 1 minute mark. Steve King and Larry McGrew combine on the tackle. As you see that clock running down, Minnesota now leads Chicago 6-0 in the third quarter. A couple of field goals by Rick Danmeyer, 35-37. This does not figure to be a rough week practice for the New England Patriots. Of course, that could be a problem too as they look to prepare for next week. Hard hit by Bob Golick. Terry Rubisky hammered on that reception out at the 35-yard line.
Ron Earhart knows this, that he has to prepare his team every week for a new opponent. So I doubt whether it'll be an easy practice this week as they go against Baltimore next week.
Well, at least the first couple of days.
Yeah, we can let them have a little rest.
And the crowd providing the Patriots with a standing ovation as time runs down, and Woodley unleashes and completes out at the 40-yard line. Giaquino with the final play of the game. That'll do it. So the New England Patriots nothing. We'll be back after these words. First time in some 10 years. Just an all-around impressive effort by New England. Patriot passing combining for 15 for 24, 220 yards between Grogan and Kavanaugh, and 2 touchdowns. And the Patriots now with an opportunity to end up the day in a tie for first in the AFC East. Marv Albert with Dave Rowe right now. Stay tuned for the exciting second half of our NFL doubleheader right after these messages from your local station.